Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well, Jay's done it again. We got a guest fest for you today. Not sure how long you'll be able to stick around, but I'll tell you what, 4:30, Drapes, we're going to talk to your guy, Jesse A. Morse.
Jay. All right. I'm not going to poo-poo our guest. I'm excited to talk to Jesse
You
Morse.
called him a quack?
I know. Did I say that?
You
did
said
I say
this
it?
guy is whack.
I don't know. That sounds like one of your songs you make up. No, I don't think I said that, but yeah. Okay.
So he's going to be on at 4:30 to talk about what's going on with CMC. What do we think we know?
Right.
Then at 3:30, we're going to talk with
now you're talking my guys.
Drellich.
Now you're talking my
Athletic.
guys. Yes.
What's going on with this whole A's relocation saga. And then at 2:30,
my guy,
your guy for sure, Tom Curran,
Tom
NBC
E.
Sports Boston insider about what's going on with the 49ers and the Patriots this week. This is a must win for the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Must win. I mean, you lose this game, you might as well pack it up. You're 9-8, at the end of the season. You're a wild card team if you lose this game. This is a must win. And I'm excited to have Tom E. Curran because tell you a quick backstory about him. He's one of those guys that all of a sudden.
Is it Tom E?
Yeah, he added the E there,
Right. There's another Tom Curran.
Is that what it was?
Yes, there's
Jay?
another Tom Curran,
Yes.
Curran who was a celebrity or known public figure.
So he started going by Tom E. Curran, and so I was going to ask him, but I'm glad you got to the bottom of that, Jay. Yeah, so
soccer player or cricket player, something like that.
Tom Curran. Okay, yeah, let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. So
I looked a couple days ago. There's something like.
Oh yeah, soccer guy, cricket it is. Yeah, Tom Curran. There's another Kyle Draper out there too, man. That kills me, man.
What does he do?
I think he's there's might be two of them. A pastor, and then it's like some sort of motivational guru or something like that.
Huh.
And so
wow.
Yeah.
There's apparently a Kevin Gleason who was a sports writer in Buffalo. Sometimes people go, "Hey, nice piece you wrote." And I'm like,
Right.
and there's also a Whitey Gleason who is a gospel singer.
Really?
Yes. And somebody gave me one of his records once. I was like, what? So
look, I got another Kevin Gleason for you.
Yeah.
An artist. Kevin Gleason Fine Art. That's not you, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's I think this guy is an artist or something like that. He paints daily and has many more works that are posted on this site. Yeah.
That's not me.
That's a popular name though.
I guess so.
I never just sit there and Google my name like that. I want to see who else is out there. Go ahead. You continue.
So Tom E. Curran joining us
Tom E.
today. Yeah. I don't know if you saw it last night, the A's walking off the next to last game in Oakland. It was kind of hard to watch. It was a fantastic finish. But, who are the announcers? Of course, Dallas Braden and the young lady who used to be in San Diego. She does a really good job. And I apologize. I can't think of her name right now. Anyway, they clearly were not supposed to address certain aspects of the last games there. Jenny Kavner.
Oh, yeah, Jenny. Yeah.
Does a really good job. A lot of enthusiasm. So they seemed a little tone deaf, but, they weren't. So there'd be fans getting a hug from Stomper. And it was like, that's so sad, right? But for them, what they had to do is say, oh, that's really nice. Look at that. A hug from the mascot. Because they could not. They were not allowed to address how it was basically like a funeral.
Yeah, farewell, if you will.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. And they'd show all the old stuff like, oh, there's Charlie Finley. Remember when Charlie Finley was here? And it's like, yeah, but it's just sad now. It's not like, whoa, those were the days.
And that's, I don't want to say weird that they're doing it like that, but it's kind of a disservice to the viewer. I feel like shouldn't it be a sort of a celebration? I
think that's what they're trying to do.
Are they doing all-time great moments in the Coliseum and stuff like that?
I think they've done that.
Have they done?
Stuff.
Okay.
But to me, it just rang a little hollow last night because I get it. I know that's what you have to do, but this isn't a time really to celebrate. It's more a time to almost mourn those moments. It's a tough little stretch.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And as a broadcaster, it's tough. How do you handle that?
I know. I can imagine.
The team is moving, it's hard to handle. And
they had 30,000 there last night.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be they're sold out all this Thursday's game is sold out. Tomorrow's game definitely a sellout. And did you see the video? And I don't know how accurate it was, where people actually taking seats, like trying to take seats out of the Coliseum. Did you see that at all?
From what I saw, it was basically two guys that were taking a row of seats.
Oh my God.
And, there are some who would want to show that and go, see, look what's going on there. But it basically was two guys that took a row of seats that had like the yellow tape on it. Like, I think they were broken or something. But again, my question is, where's security? Why you can't just lift seats out of a stadium, can you?
If I'm security, I'm not doing a damn thing.
Really?
Because they're out of a job come Thursday, Whitey. Security ain't going to be shipping their way up to Sacramento next season.
Right.
Their job is done. It's over. Think about it like this: security, parking attendants, concessions, whatever it may be, sales staff laid off. And so it's like at this point, it might be a free-for-all, and maybe that's why the A's are telling players, hey, man, get off the field afterwards. Don't linger. Don't loiter around, because we don't know what's going to happen on Thursday.
I know that's one of the messages that people in Oakland are sending out there is like, look, the A's are leaving, but the soccer team's still going to play here, and someone else owns the Coliseum.
Yeah. Yep.
Fisher doesn't own the Coliseum. Yeah. So leave the seats. Don't tear down the building. That doesn't help anybody. And the people that you're hurting are not the people that you're angry at.
Yeah, that's true. That I get it. But then from a fan standpoint, 50 years from now, 30 years from now, I got the seats from the Coliseum when the A's, their final series. Exactly. The Arco seats here, huh? This is why are they there? Like these seats, right? Like, what are we?
As long as I've been there,
they're not part of the ambiance. People at home can't see them watching on YouTube. Like,
it's a neat idea, but I don't know. Someday we'll sell tickets.
Our boy Jose said he wanted to invite listeners in.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of these, I think, in the garage, aren't there, Jay? I think there's a whole bunch of seats.
Who I need to talk to? I'm about to get some for my house. Who do I need to?
You can talk to somebody, or if you leave through that garage area.
But I don't want to get fired, bro.
To anybody.
They got cameras. I don't want to get fired. This ain't McDonald's and me helping my guy to steal the pies.
You're the LeBron of the station.
That's true. But that's why I'm gonna ask. Oh, Drapes, you want some? Sure, take as many as you need. And so I'm gonna do it the correct way.
They probably have some value as collectibles, I would think. I don't know.
I mean, even as a talking point. You know what I mean? Like you have friends over.
Right.
What's that? Oh, that's the seats from Old Arco. Some great memories and all that.
Yeah. So. A couple of years ago, we were in Mendocino, and there's this restaurant bar. And out front, they had where you can wait. They had seats from Candlestick Park.
Really?
And they're actually
in the bar. Huh?
Yeah. So
I saw a story on the news one time, and I don't know if it was here or when I was on the road or something, where a guy basically built a shrine to all the major league ballparks. Like he got stuff from Fenway, old Yankee Stadium, like tons of stuff. Like his whole house is a shrine to major league baseball ballparks.
How many stadiums or parks have you been to that no longer exist? Any? Because I've been to the Forum is still there in LA, right? They just don't play there.
Yeah.
Candlestick.
Yeah.
Of course, Arco. I actually went to Arco 1 once. So Arco 1, Arco 2.
About the Vet in Philly. The Metrodome in Minneapolis. That place. Yeah.
The original Garden.
I haven't been to the original Garden. That was after, after I came, or before I came, excuse me. I'm trying to think what else, man. Maybe that's it. I'd really have to sit down and think about it. Like,
well, in recent years, since about the time when you started, getting in the NBA, there's a whole bunch of new buildings.
Whole bunch of new buildings. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, old Milwaukee. How about the Spectrum in Philly back in the day when Dr. J and the boys used to play? Yeah, so there's been. You're right, and the thing about the
Oakland
NBA,
Collesium Arena.
Oh, you've been there?
Oracle.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Yep, been there. Yep, that was a great venue. It was one of those where you felt the passion of the fan base. Like it was a blue collar crowd, if you will. Now Chase Center, nice building. I ain't gonna hate on it, but it's more wine and cheese crowd instead of the beer and pretzels and beer and peanuts
doesn't
crowd.
Have that character.
Yeah, it doesn't have that.
Somebody here mentioning Ryan Williams art, Jack Murphy Stadium. In San Diego. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, the King Dome too. Yeah.
I think you mentioned the Kingdom.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mentioned the Metrodome in Minneapolis.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, that in the Minneapolis and then the Kingdom as well.
How good? Do you have any idea? Maybe you don't watch them a lot. How good is the team that's coming here? Last night they had Jacob Wilson. I don't know if you remember this, but months ago, the A's brought him up. And remember, I was saying, you can't bring him up already. And he pulled his hamstring his first game here, but he's one of their hot prospects. Yeah. He had the walk-off last night. The pitching isn't great, but this is a team that's outperformed expectations second half of the season. How good is this team that's coming here next year?
That's a great question because I don't want to overreact. I don't want to be like, oh, here they come, in the pennant run. I think they will be a respectable franchise, a respectable team. If I look back at it, and I got to look at the standings right now. How many wins do they have right now?
68, I think.
Yeah, they'll probably be a 75 to 80 win team, which is great for them. In the wild card
hunt.
80
because they only got like 5 games left.
No, I mean next season.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking next season. Yeah. Not right now. No, I'm saying how good, like next season, I think they'll be even a little bit better than they are this season. And I think they'll be in the wild card hunt up to the final month of the season. Here's the thing, though, Whitey, too. You got some teams that are, I think, getting older out there, maybe regressing a little bit. I think of Houston. They're the team that comes to mind at first. And so I think the A's, there's an opportunity for them. I'm not saying to win it all, even to make the playoffs, but at least to have meaningful baseball in late August and September.
One of the things that'll be tough is, and this is one of the things the agents have talked about, if the A's are in any frame of mind where they want to pursue free agents, no free agent's going to come here because it's just, you don't even know where you're going to be playing.
Yeah, but let's keep it real. That's not an issue, Whitey, because they aren't going to be pursuing any big name free agents. Are they?
I mean, so.
Yeah. And so that's just bringing stuff up just that, like, they won't pursue any until they get to Vegas. Like, I could see Fisher all of a sudden wanting to become a respectable owner and spend money in Vegas.
And not going to Vegas, Drapes.
Yeah, that's
how are you today, Jay? His first. So you don't think so? Like, or is this just wishful thinking?
It's both.
Okay.
I just don't want to speak it into existence.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If they don't go to Vegas, here's the thing, fellas. Does Fisher sell then? If his grand plan falls apart, does he then at that point cash out? And that's what Vivek is hoping.
Mm-hmm. That's probably what Vivek is hoping. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people with a lot of money, as you mentioned yesterday, what Larry Beal said, who would buy that team right now and he won't sell. So I don't pretend to know what he wants to do as far as selling. How likely is he to sell? I just hope that he will decide to.
What's their valuation now? Like, how much are they?
On the low end.
Troy Brown said $2 billion.
He said $2 billion?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't care how much money I had. If somebody offered me $2 billion for anything, sign me up. I'm out. Jay, you be trying to sell baseball cards for $20. Like, sell it.
Forget the memories.
Oh man,
go buy new ones.
That's awesome. Real quick, guys, as we talk about selling, my son had this Victor Wembanyama card.
Yeah,
that he got from Costco, like the Halloween packs.
Oh, yeah.
And
Kirkland.
Yeah, the Kirkland. But when they first came out, they were like worth $300-something bucks.
Yeah.
So he put it on eBay. Nobody wanted to buy it. Wife just texted me. Somebody offered him $145 for it.
No money.
Hey, get rid of that thing, right?
Buy.
Yep, buy. Get rid of that thing.
That offer? He's going to accept that offer?
Hell yeah, $145 to a kid? Shoot.
Wow.
How much was the box?
No, it was like $29.99.
Oh, yeah. Blaster? Buy.
Yeah. It was and it's one of those little
return on investment,
smaller cards, really thin. Like the quality is not good at all. And so Pete, who works at True Sports Cards, said, sell it as fast as you can because people are going to, realize this ain't. And so he got an offer for $145. So
jump on that.
Jump on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't $2 billion, but yeah, jump on that.
Jay, do you have any idea whether the A's are going to be any good next year when they're here?
No, I'm with you. I think, but I also with Drapes, I think they're around 80, 85, 75 to 85 in the
85.
I just don't know if they're going to
Jay.
keep anybody.
Yeah. 85 gets them in the mix.
Playoffs?
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking wild card stuff.
Because of the extension of teams?
Yeah, with 6 teams now.
Yeah, you got more teams now. Let me look at the standings right now. If you looked at wild card teams,
you got Detroit, Minnesota, and Kansas City right now in the American League. They're fighting for the last wild card spot.
And Detroit's at 83 wins, right?
83 and 74
on 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 500. Gets you in the last week of the season. You might be playing for something here in West Sac.
Who do they? I mean, Butler's still under control for quite a bit of time.
They're so young. I don't think they have a lot of guys they'd be getting rid of.
See, I still think they spend, as much as I hate to say it, I think they spend Mason Miller because he's the talk of the league.
Damn, already, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can get somebody who's going to help me more.
Yeah.
With him.
You'll probably get, a back half of the lineup guy, a solid veteran, probably a guy, a top prospect, a middling top prospect. Like, that's what the A's do. They just do it for whatever reason. So I think it's going to be tough to keep him in the A's uniform.
It's amazing right now, Drapes. You got baseball kind of in the last gasp of the regular season. It's one of the most exciting times of the year for baseball. So baseball is trying to get your attention. But right now, the WNBA playoffs are probably getting more attention.
Oh, 100%.
I'm a baseball fan, so I'm not taking a shot at baseball, but it's crystal clear the WNBA playoffs are much more relevant right now on the sports landscape than MLB.
I got to see the numbers, Whitey. I need to look up the numbers because I saw the weekend numbers and with Caitlin Clark did what, 1.2 was it?
And that was against NFL action.
That was against NFL action on ABC.
Jaw dropping.
But the other games got about 400,000 or so, roughly about that. How much is Sunday Night Baseball doing? Or how much is
I don't know.
I don't know. I gotta look that up. But I think when you look at the WNBA, you got to look at it on two different levels. The Caitlin Clark level, sure, she's dominating. She's beating baseball.
Right.
But are the other games, like Seattle and Vegas last night, what did they do compared to it? I will say, I watch ESPN, and I know I shouldn't sometimes, but I do feel like as of late, WNBA is being pushed a little bit more on their network than Major League Baseball, unless it's Shohei or Aaron Judge. Like other stuff, if the Tigers win or lose as they, it doesn't resonate as much. The Stars, I think, still do. Though.
But Caitlin Clark or not, and I understand your point, and it's obviously it's correct, but Caitlin Clark or not, the fact that WNBA is drawing what they're drawing compared to baseball right now, it's staggering. And yeah, a lot of it is her, but that's incredible. It also speaks to what a poor job I think baseball has done. Because you mentioned you got Judge, you got Ohtani's a great story, but baseball just hasn't done a good job of making people care.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm on this site right now, but this was back in July. Major League Baseball sees boost in attendance and TV ratings. This is back in July. ESPN is up by 6%, an average of 1.59 million viewers per game.
Okay.
But that was back in July. I don't know what it is right now. I'm on this website, Sports Media Watch, see what they say. But the fact that it's even a discussion, Whitey, 10 years ago, this would have never happened. 15, 20 years ago would have never happened. And I'll tell you what, I don't know who plays in baseball tonight, obviously, other than the A's. But I know Caitlin Clark and them play at 4:30. I know I'm going to be tuning into that. I mean, that's just the way it is nowadays.
Are the WNBA officials going to make sure that their cash cow sticks around for?
I know she got to win a game, right? She got to win. You got to win one more game. Yeah, they should. I mean, if it's going to be good for the league, yes. Real quick, I hate the WNBA structure though. Best of 3, but the higher seed gets the first 2 games at home. Like that's shouldn't it be 1-1-1? But I think the league, because of travel and we're in a new day now though, WNBA, right? Like, I mean, they're on charter flights now. Like, they got to change that up.
You know how baseball does it now? The first round, they have a best of 3 series. All the games are played at the stadium of the team with a better record.
Get out of here. All of them?
First round, yeah. You play a best of 3 in
so you don't get a home game at all.
No, you have to win to get to the next round.
To the next round. Damn.
Yeah.
Why? Is that travel related also? It can't be
I
that.
think a part of it is they have so many teams in the playoffs now. They just got to get the games in because it starts raining.
Can't have a travel day or something like that. They don't want to be playing
the World Series on Christmas.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah. And also because the season's so long, the team that has a better record have to have some kind of advantage.
Yeah.
162 games.
That's right. You work that hard. Yeah, give them some. Somebody says on the 916, Fever and Clark get eliminated, so will the ratings.
Yeah, exactly.
You think so?
Well, they're going to go down.
They're definitely going to go down, but I still think they'll be up from where they were last year. Like, there's no doubt that women's basketball, WNBA, even if you take Caitlin Clark out, like I said, the other games are doing 450,000. I would argue that's probably more than what they were a season ago, let's say. So,
yeah, but it's the Caitlin Clark effect. And the other outstanding players in the WNBA. I'm not going to stand here and start talking WNBA because I don't know as much about it as you.
Dude, I'm going to get you a Caitlin Clark game. We got to watch a Caitlin Clark game. She is phenomenal. And then,
I heard two people say, one was Jerry Reynolds, the other might have been you, say she's like Steve Nash.
Yeah, she's like Steve because her ability to score also.
Yeah.
She can control the game, passing with assists and scoring.
What's up with her getting clawed in the eye? What was that?
They said it was an accident. I don't know if you
saw it today. It's like, that ain't no accident.
Really?
I don't know who's who or what's what. When I play basketball, when someone throws a pass, you have your hand out, you don't bring your hand down into their eye.
You ain't coming with the claw?
Yeah.
The woman who did that was asked about it, and she said, I didn't even know I hit her. Like, I didn't even know I got her like that. And
why are they allowing me to play with the nails?
That's a good question, right?
Not to me,
right?
Like, what?
Well, yeah, that's an accident waiting to happen for sure.
Yeah,
so, I'll be watching my girl at 4:30.
I'll be rooting hard, right?
Because yes, I want to keep. If she loses, then her season's over. Like that's. I can't. I'm not ready for it, big fella.
If there's anything approaching a controversial call towards the end of that game that benefits the Fever, woo!
I feel bad.
WNBA controversy.
I feel bad for her too, Whitey, because it can never just be about basketball with her.
Right.
It's always the foul that you talked about. Is it a bigger story because it's Caitlin Clark? Was it on purpose? Was it intentional? If the Fever win tonight, did the refs help her out? It can never just be about the game. It's always something extra with her. And it's not her fault. It just, when you come with that kind of celebrity and that kind of cachet, it's sort of like LeBron, sort of like Steph Curry. There's always a little extra with it.
A lot of it is very ugly and unfortunate, but isn't that one of the reasons why she's got the big ratings? Because she represents more than just a really good basketball player.
Right. And that's the thing about Caitlin Clark is that if we just focused on her basketball, she probably wouldn't be as big as she is. But because race plays a part, because there's good versus evil, people are trying to, it's become a bigger thing. And so to your point, it's helped fueled her popularity.
It's amazing when you look at figures in sports over the last 20, 40, 50 years, the people that have really popped as being just ultra special, they just seem to come along at the right time, don't they?
Right.
Like at a time
almost
when the
accident.
game, whatever game it is, needs them. Be it Tiger or Michael Jordan or Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. And, I'm going to throw LeBron in that mix too, because here's the thing about LeBron. No matter who you are, you have an opinion on LeBron. You know what I mean? LeBron's not whatever. Like LeBron does something, 50% hate it, 50% love it. Same thing now with Caitlin Clark. She does something, 50% love it, 50% hate it. They're so polarizing. And, in Caitlin Clark's case, it's really not for anything she actually did or, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, so 4:30, that's what I'll be watching.
Okay. Real quick. Did you guys happen to see how the Dodger game ended last night?
No, what happened?
The Dodgers playing San Diego and San Diego's trying to track them down. San Diego goes in that game 3 games behind with 6 to play. So it's the bottom of the 9th inning. The Dodgers have Ohtani on deck. They trailed 4-1. They get 3 straight hits. It's 4-2, runners on first and second. Ground ball to third. Machado steps on third, throws to second, on to first. A triple play to end the game. Round the horn triple play to end the game.
That's a walk-off triple play, if you will.
Yes.
No, that's impressive. I've never seen that,
I don't know if
right?
I've ever actually seen in person a freaking triple play.
Were you watching last night live? Or
I watched some of it. I didn't see the end of that, and I was watching the A's with the walk-off. Yeah.
Okay.
You ever seen that, Jay? Triple play to end the game?
I have actually.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw the play last night. It was a great turn, 5-4-1. Yeah. I've seen it done. I've seen it done to end a game. I've seen it done to end an inning. I've seen it to start a first inning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. Those runners must have been slow, huh?
Hey, baseball, man, you getting ready to have me talk about their fundamentals, which I hate to talk about.
It's okay.
Fundamentals.
You're going to carry the piano to first base. You have to stop and play.
That'd be great.
Right? All right. We're going to catch up with Tom Curran, NBC Sports Boston Patriot Insider, to see does 49ers have any concerns this week with the Patriots. That's next. Sactown Sports.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Y'all want to hear about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford? Well, if you're age 50 or over, you can save hundreds when you switch. Are you ready for some exclusive discounts too? Phone's in the air now. We're going to sign you up, baby. Go to visithartfordauto.com today for your free quote.
When you're with the Hartford, the Bucks got your back. Provided by Hartford Fire Insurance Company, not AARP or its affiliates. Individual savings vary. The Hartford pays a royalty fee to AARP, which is used for external purposes. For information and restrictions, go to thehartford.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Advanced Infusion Center, where wellness meets vitality. Unlock your full potential with our customized Liquid Vita vitamin IV drips tailored to fit your unique lifestyle. Whether you're an athlete aiming for peak performance or travel often and looking to stay healthy, we have an IV just for you. At Advanced Infusion Center, we understand that wellness isn't just one size fits all. That's why our expert team is here to personalize your infusion experience. Ready to elevate your wellness journey? Call Advanced Infusion Center today or visit us at advancedinfusion.com.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley, Harmony, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale off Highway 50 at Hazel look for the water wheel.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, as the sun sets on the A's time in Oakland and reflecting back on 57 great seasons, I'll also think back on the great support from A's fans and that community of fans that developed organically over the years at the Coliseum. And a big thank you to the folks at Sactown Sports for giving me the chance once again to bring you these shows every week.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Yeah, there are so many football games streaming this season. Can Xfinity Internet handle it?
Oh, we know the game is only live once, so we built a network with all-pro speeds and low lag so you don't miss a snap.
So I can yell, "He's open!" when he's actually open?
Yeah, but the quarterback still can't hear you.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and TV and enjoy instant access to your favorite live sports with the Xfinity Stream app. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Streaming content limited to the U.S. Programming subject to change.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Hey, real quick, that was awesome. Ken Korak with his A's update, shouting out fans from Sactown Sports. He's a tremendous guy, and I didn't know he'd done that. That's wonderful. I know this is very emotional for Ken. Looking forward to having him up here, but thank you, Ken Korak. Now, we have a special guest, Drapes. I know it's your buddy.
Yes, my guy. Tom E. Curran of NBC Sports Boston, Patriots analyst, insider, writer. I'm looking at his Twitter bio right now. He has Patriots Insider, NBC Sports Boston. I putt one-handed. Hold up, Tom. I don't remember that, big fella. Explain that. One-handed putter?
Confirmed. One-handed putter. The left hand gets too involved. It turns over. The next thing I know, I'm pulling everything. I make everything one hand. The speed control, Drapes, is what's uncanny. I don't know why. Even if it's a 25-foot putt, 30-foot putt, 40-foot putt, we're still going to one-hand them.
Strong hand or weak hand? Which one are you using?
It's the right. I'm going right hand for a right-handed player. I know you're the big lefty.
Yeah, the big lefty. Okay.
I don't know, Philly.
I might try that, Tom. Maybe that'll help my golf game, man.
You never know. You never know, kid.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Good, man. You miss me out there? Let's keep it real. You miss me out there? Everybody
misses you. They said, hey, we're going to do some Celtics stuff tonight on Early Edition. They're like, who is the biggest impediment to the Celtics winning another title? I'm like, I'm up to my eyeballs in NFL. I don't know. We're going, well, looks like the Knicks have the entire Villanova team together. Let's go with Knicks.
Dude, you got to do phone a friend or something like that next time they ask you, Exactly. Put them on hold and call me up. So,
hey, Tom, I got a question for you. I know you posted, a plea for patience regarding the Patriots rebuild to fans this week. I think I know the answer, but how well received was that? How impatient are Patriot fans right now?
Well, they're not over the top impatient right now, but I think what they're impatient for is Drake May. They want Drake May out there. They want the fact that the Patriots played so well against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 1 to be repetitive. They want to see it over and over again. And as you guys know, having been out there in Drapes, having covered innumerable professional teams, the worse a team is, the more its performances are going to fluctuate. Some nights the other team's going to take them not that serious, or there's going to be a matchup, or there's going to be injuries. And that team that really isn't that talented will put it all together and everything falls their way and they have a great performance. That happened against Cincy. The second week, Patriots made 2 mistakes against the Seahawks, and it was enough for Geno Smith to say, yep, I got this. Takes care of business against them. They're 1-1. And then Aaron Rodgers gets in against them after watching Geno and goes, if Geno can do that, watch this, and killed them. So it's fascinating to see them this week going up against a Niners team that will have their, have its full attention applied to the Patriots, given the fact that the Niners are 1-2 and the way they lost last week.
Hey, Tom, both you and I, we know Gerard Mayo pretty well. Great guy. What do you think about the job he's doing so far and the patience that Robert Kraft will have with him?
I think he'll have a lot of patience. The job he's doing so far has been impressive in these ways, Drapes. He is trying to change the culture in terms of making it a little less oppressive, a little less negative.
Yeah.
But he is not in any way making it less difficult. He ran practices that were longer than Bill's, that hit more than Bill's, that tackled to the ground more frequently than Bill Belichick's. And he is much more apt to, at the podium, say, like to Ramondre Stevenson the other day, he stumbled 3 times in 3 games. We can't have that because every team's going to be going after it now. So he's going to have to work on that. And Bill would never say anything like that. So it's interesting to see this kind of radical transparency from Mayo in that regard. What I talked to Matt Mayoko earlier today for my pod from NBC Sports Bay Area. And what he emphasized was how long it will take for the personnel to jive as they put this West Coast offense in the same way it had to with San Francisco. You really have to implement a program and allow the offensive coordinator to keep putting the players in that he thinks will fit his system. And the Patriots are going to have to show patience with that. Otherwise, they're going to get halfway down the road, putting this West Coast offense in, and then say, oh, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. It's not working. So they have to commit.
We're catching up with Tommy Curran from NBC Sports Boston. Since you mentioned Coach Belichick, Tom, now there's a lot of people just speculating that, maybe Jacksonville, maybe they will hire Bill Belichick. There's been talk of maybe Dallas has been thinking about him, or maybe Philly if things go wrong with Coach Sirianni. How likely do you think Coach Belichick is to even come back at all to any team in the NFL this year?
Well, I think he's done a good job rehabilitating his image and getting some separation from the fact that it's a 4-13 team that he had here in New England. His decisions helped to ruin a first-round quarterback who should not have been ruined that quickly. His drafting was horrendous. The free agent signings were terrible, and the culture was bad. Not to mention the spending wasn't good. They spent $172 million in guaranteed money in 2021, and by 2023, they were a 4-13 team. So he was not firing on all cylinders, to say the least, for the 5 years here. But I think he's done a nice job of putting a buff and shine on his reputation, because everyone genuflects when he comes on with them. And everyone's like, they've already forgotten how bad it was here. So I think that he has done a good job at least trying to convince a league that turned its back on him entirely this past offseason. Nobody wanted the guy. He's 72. He's fairly fixed in his ways. He's going to want to do things his way when he comes in. He's going to want $20 million a year, most likely. I mean, he was approaching that. Maybe he'll take less because he's got enough money. But he's not an easy hire nor an easy guy to get along with. So what he has to do is make himself much more cuddly. And I think he's doing an effective job of that. But I look at places like Jacksonville, for instance, and I thought positive that, maybe Bill will be interested about that because Shad Khan. But when you read the fine print after having covered a guy like Bill, do you think Bill wants to go across the pond to Europe every year and even be conceivably a team that splits its home games in England, which the Jaguars have been, rumored to be? And that might be way down the road and Bill would be long gone. But it's not going to be a deep-pocketed owner. He's not going to get hired mid-season because he would bring in all his coaches. He's not going to go there and work with Doug Peterson's coaches. So I don't think Bill is the kind of guy who would take over a job midstream. There might be an interim. There's usually an interim. You never see teams hire a coach of Bill's gravitas in the middle of the season. They'll let somebody finish out wherever it is, whoever loses a job, sadly. And then Bill would be courted in the offseason, I think.
Hey, Tom, when you look at this week's matchup, what's the one area that the Patriots feel like they may have an advantage or can exploit when it comes to Sam? When you look at what the Niners do, what's the best case scenario for this Patriots team?
Best case scenario, just the only scenario is they just don't turn the ball over. Having mentioned already that Ramondre Stevenson has as many fumbles as he does, but Jacoby Brissett takes care of the ball. He has taken a battering through the first 3 weeks, but he has not thrown an interception. Now, the Jets went after Brissett. Their head coach is Robert Saleh. You're going to see the Niners employ probably the same kinds of pressures until the Patriots prove they can stop them. So there are very few pathways for the Patriots to win other than the normal ones that we talk about. Be effective on third down, win the turnover battle, those kinds of things. But to just line up and say they're going to win a 31-28 game that goes up and down the field, it's not going to happen that way. They just don't have the talent.
Tommy Curran from NBC Sports Boston joining us here as we get ready for the 49ers and the Patriots. Tom, I know you're focused obviously on the Patriots, but what is your view of what's from afar of what's going on with the 49ers right now?
They're going to get it fixed. It's interesting to see how talented they are. When you look at even with the injuries, you still have guys like, Fred Warner. You still have offensively, they plug in. Who's the running back? Juwan Jennings?
That's the receiver, Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
And then
Jordan Mason.
JP Mason, yeah.
He had like 15 catches the other day, Jennings said.
Yes.
Something ridiculous.
Yes.
So, and then Kittle will come back, and Debo will come back, and, at some point McCaffrey will come back, and they'll be loaded. I just think that the thing about the Niners is they're a program. And it takes a while to have a program in the NFL that has the kind of continuity that, for instance, the Patriots had. The Ravens have a program. The Niners have a program. The Bills have developed a program. And that takes time. Like even Dallas, they're there as long as they are, but you really couldn't call that an effective program. They don't yield good results. These other ones do. Kansas City, obviously, a program that's centered around one elite coach, elite concept, elite player. And I think, with the Niners, they're fortunate enough to be centered around the elite concept and I do believe coach and set up there. And there's a lot of buy-in on that team. And then there's just excellent players too to round it out. And I think that, Matt Mayoko saying this, and I'm babbling here, sorry, but Matt Mayoko saying this to me about how John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan had the latitude to pick their players. Look what a great job they did, whether it was adding Juszczyk or having Kittle or taking the chance on Debo or making sure you re-signed Ayuk or swinging a deal to get McCaffrey when, Carolina was, trying to shop him. Just you can swing and miss on the number 2 pick and still develop a guy in your program.
Yeah.
In Brock Purdy, who performs that way. You think Brock Purdy would be doing this in Jacksonville? No. And that's not a slight to Brock Purdy. It's just when you're in the right spot, you can have great success. Sam Darnold, perfect example.
Okay. Well, Tom, we appreciate it. A lot of people around here are saying this looks like a must-win game for the 49ers. The things have been, not going their way lately. And for the Patriots, they're just trying to keep that rebuild on track, right? Is that a fair summation of where we are right now?
Yeah, keep the rebuild on track. Don't have a repeat performance of what we saw last Thursday night when they were completely uncompetitive. So I don't think they're walking out and getting on the plane and saying, we're going to go hand the 49ers their very own ass. They're probably just saying, okay, let's just try and be effective this week. Effective. So
right. Look like an NFL team, right?
The Niners cannot be losing this game.
Oh my gosh. Jay, can we clip that? Because come Monday, if the Patriots shock the world, we got to play that again. They can't lose this game, can they?
They cannot be losing a game like this. No. Get out.
All right, Tom. Great stuff, man.
Thanks for the golf tips, too. We appreciate it.
All right. Great to hear from you. Always swing as hard as you can. That's my theory this year.
Oh, shoot. Okay. What's your handicap, Tom? 20?
I got down to 8.2.
Oh, okay.
Always swing as hard as you can.
All right. I'm going to try that. I'm golfing tomorrow. I'm going to try that.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, Tommy. All right, man.
See you guys.
Appreciate it. We have this note. Thank you, Kyle Draper, for sharing this from Nick Wagner. Trent Williams won't practice today, but he's ill. So
he's ill,
yeah,
right?
Well, he's having a hard time. playing all these games now.
All right, he's gassed, man.
His holdout.
Yeah, exactly. So Trent's out today, no practice. Man.
When we come back, NIL chaos rears its ugly head next on Sactown Sports.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley, Parmalee, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
She used to meet me on the side.
Khalid, live in concert. See him performing at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the sensational Khalid for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. For more, visit KhalidOfficial.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They believe it's all about people and choices. Their goal is to find the car that fits your lifestyle. With their huge inventory of models, they've got the right car and, more importantly, at the right price every time. Experience for yourself why their customers drive away smiling. Discover the difference, because it's not just about the car, it's also about the people. Experience the Sacramento Dodge Jeep and Chrysler difference off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks, or you can find them online, sacsuperstore.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Some things are happening to the UNLV football program that have never happened before. Some of them great. Some of them, wow, out of left field in the wild, wild west here of this NIL era. So we have the fact that UNLV is undefeated, ranked number 23 in the AFCA coaches poll. That's the first time the program has been ranked in any major poll in history. UNLV also, they're in the middle of trying to figure out if they're going to go to the Pac-12, Mount West, what their conference future lies. And now we have this, Matthew Sluka, quarterback, leaving the team last night, claiming there were NIL promises, verbal promises on money he would get, name, image, and likeness money, unfulfilled from a UNLV assistant coach. So his agent told ESPN that UNLV did not come through on a verbal offer of $100,000 from an assistant coach. The quarterback's dad says, Barry Odom later, the head coach, said, well, the offer wasn't valid because it didn't come from him, but rather from offensive coordinator Brendan Marion, who is not commenting. And UNLV is saying, well, his agent, the quarterback's agent, made financial demands upon the university And we interpret these demands as a violation of the NCAA pay-for-play rules. So it's a mess, Drapes.
It's a mess, and it's something we've never seen before.
Right.
And this is a Pandora's box that is open. And it's not just the quarterback, Whitey, not just Matthew Sluka, but also running back Michael Allen says he's leaving the program as well. He says he announced plans to redshirt, enter transfer portal, and will not play anymore this season. Now, that's 2 players.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought, man, it's the players, but this is 2 players. Something's wrong with UNLV, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm on the player side or anything like that, but I will say this. When you have NIL, it's almost like an unregulated situation.
It's
just the wild, wild west. And nobody knows what they're doing right now. And if this is the door that has opened, if I'm college athletics, don't you have to put something in place? Like, I don't know what can be done, but like you said, UNLV is a top 25 team. They're decent. They got bowl aspirations. And these guys are leaving because I guess they're not getting paid. They're working and not getting paid.
Yeah.
And so this whole notion, I mean, it's a job for these athletes, and I get it. I understand it. You got to pay them. But I think NIL has changed college athletics. It's, in my opinion, too, Whitey, probably is going to hurt ratings and interest over time because you can't get attached to a player anymore. Guys coming and going. It was sort of like college basketball, one and dones. Look at college basketball. Other than the tournament, sure, the tournament's great, but a November game between so-and-so, college basketball has lost some of its luster, and I think college football is going that same route.
Woj announced that he's going to become the GM at St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
My first reaction was, GM for a college basketball team? I've never heard of that. But in this day and age of NIL, you have to have a general manager.
Right.
So the landscape has totally changed. In this instance, to me, it sounds like the head coach needed to say, all right, if that's what the player's been promised, we're going to have to pay him. And if that's what my assistant offered him in unauthorized fashion, he has to go.
He got to go.
But to come in and go, no, it wasn't from me, so it doesn't count. That's just a boneheaded way to handle it.
Well, did you see UNLV's statement? UNLV came out with a statement today about this whole situation, and I'm pulling it up right now. They said, quote, they talked about the football player Matthew Sluka, made financial demands upon the university in order to continue playing. UNLV Athletics interpreted these demands as a violation of the NCAA pay-for-play rules, as well as Nevada state law.
Mm-hmm.
UNLV does not engage in such activity, nor does it respond to implied threats. This is from the university.
Mm-hmm.
UNLV has honored all previously agreed upon scholarships for Matthew Sluka. So where does there's a disconnect there. Somebody's lying, or somebody's, like you said, maybe the assistant coach promised this,
right?
And he should be the fall guy.
I know my buddy David Sutherland, who was on the PGA Tour, and he became the golf coach at Sac State. And he was telling me when he became golf coach at Sac State, he said it was unbelievable how many rules he had to learn. All the NCAA regulations. He said it was incredible. That's for a golf program.
Right.
And now we've got the new NIL stuff. So it sounds to me like UNLV head coach, maybe they're trying to kind of win around the margins, kind of skirt the rules a little bit. And in this day and age, they played with fire. This is, I can't believe they promised this much money to a guy and then not pay it. I mean, someone clearly is just asking for trouble.
Are you a proponent of NIL?
Sure.
How about the way it's being done right now? I'm all for paying, but I feel like we said earlier, it's a wild, wild west. It's now you got to have, look at Sac State as they try to, go to the Mountain West or the Pac-12. You got to have an NIL endowment fund and show that you can.
Right.
It's like,
you got to have a budget.
You got to have a budget now for paying players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too much chaos, if you will. The transfer portal has changed college athletics.
He goes into the transfer portal now, doesn't he?
Has changed college athletics.
He goes into the transfer portal now, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he could go to the highest bidder, basically. I used to be really big into college sports. Jay's a college sports guy. He's a college football guy. Jay,
I know.
Why don't you chime in on this? What do you make of this situation?
It's interesting, fellas, in the form of I'm a player's guy, and I think that's what you guys are talking about. There is something to the fact of, look, if you've promised me something or you have, and this may be on paper, it doesn't seem like that, but we have a verbal agreement. I don't think this quarterback, Matt, is coming out the blue. I don't think his family's coming out the blue. Like, oh, you promised some money and now we haven't got it. And I've given you 3 games
You hear what
already.
the dad says? Bob Sluka?
Yes.
He says, we have no idea what the hell happened. Quote,
Yep.
No one can explain this. Why would you let your starting quarterback walk out of the building? We did not ask for a penny more than what was agreed upon this winter.
Right. Which is something. Basically, the family got promised something.
Yeah.
UNLV didn't back it up. The head coach put it on the assistant coach, and the school's coming, is not coming to the rescue. And from what I'm hearing and reading and this is what confuses me before I even talk about the NIL stuff. How in the hell does UNLV allegedly not have money? Like, you're sitting in the middle of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You go knock on somebody's door of all NIL budgets. You should be able to go knock on the MGM and Caesars and all the other companies that own these hotels and be getting $50K and $25K. That's chump change for casinos. How does UNLV not have a huge endowment when it comes to the NIL? $100K, fellas?
And things are changing. As we said, it's a Wild West, but as part of a pending antitrust lawsuit, according to ESPN, the NCAA agreed to allow its schools to pay players directly, and if the settlement is approved in court, the new system has the potential to give both players and teams more security by allowing them to enter more direct contracts with one another. Sounds like that's what this was, but they jumped the gun a little bit. To school and the Friends of UNLV Collective formally offer $3,000 per month for 4 months, but that's $88,000 less than what the coach says.
$3,000 a month. That ain't nothing. Yeah,
Marty, we're told verbally.
Can't even stand a plush townhouse in Vegas right now. Like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to NIL, one thing I know, fellas, is this: at the beginning of anything, when anything is brand new, you just don't know how it's going to turn out. And hence, that's why it's the Wild Wild West. If you go, I'm a big proponent, as a car guy, I never buy the first car body style of anything, because there's always going to be problems. You're always going to have recalls. They're always, fixing bugs to figure it out. Now, if you want to buy the 2nd-year version, 3rd-year version, then go ahead. And I think that's where we're at when it comes to the NIL. We just don't know how to operate it because it's all brand new for everybody. Yeah. We're still learning how to manipulate the process, pay these players, pay the coaches, the school. As you talked about, having general managers now in school, all these different rules and bylaws you have to learn. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg, fellas. So we're going to have this happen.
Well, the thing is that the coach is not even saying, no, there was never an offer. He was saying, someone made you an offer, but it wasn't for me. So it's not valid.
He's not allowed to speak.
That's a terrible way to handle it, isn't it?
Yeah, $100K, man.
Yeah. And Compio says, if a college player receives NIL money, isn't that player technically under contract for a period of time? And I think in this case, it's a breach of contract this player is claiming with with UNLV.
And it wasn't on paper, it seems like.
Yeah.
Because no one can brandish paperwork. It was a verbal agreement. It was oral, So I think that's the tough part about it. One thing you're going to learn as Matt will learn and his family, hopefully, is get it on paper.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah. To that point. Yeah. Again, the school offered $88,000 less than what the quarterback and his agent were told verbally last winter. It's like, but it didn't come from me. So sorry.
No, shouldn't it be contracts though? Like Jade's pointing out, like in this stage
this
of things,
lawsuit. Yeah. They should win this lawsuit.
Should they?
Yeah.
But if there's no paper trail.
But if no one's denying that the offer was made and they're just saying, well, it wasn't written down. It didn't come from me. A lawyer worth half his soul can say, look, this came from an agent of your school, an agent of your football team. You have to honor that.
And could he just say, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, like this agent of the football team, this assistant coach. I didn't say that. To Jay's point, You got to get it in writing. This is a lesson learned. I mean, and I think, as you negotiate this NIL deal, if you're an athlete, I need to see the paperwork.
Mhm.
I got to put pen to paper for it to be a legally binding contract.
We haven't even talked to you about all the
Oh
Sac-12.
yeah, we got to get into that.
We haven't even talked about that.
Haven't talked about that.
And talking about that, this is a school I wanted to see UNLV come to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have problems like this, fellas,
Right.
the Rebels,
We don't want 'em, right?
we got to tie this together.
3 potential new 49er starters this week. We got them for you next on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley, Parmalee, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California, Champaign.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
If you've been looking for the right, hard-to-find Ram heavy duty, great news. We have them. And right now, you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP on the new 2024 Ram 2500s.
You always seem to have the best deals and biggest selection of Ram trucks.
That's why we are California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation. Plus, we have over 400 new Ram trucks available, including those hard-to-find heavy duties. Your perfect truck is waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
Find your new heavy-duty Ram in the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. And remember to check out the Hoblet Used Car Super Center in downtown Woodland with over 50 cars under 20 grand. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,500 total net savings on select new Ram 2500 tradesmen's after 9,000 factory rebates, 6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 Hoblet Select inventory coupons, 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance, must have qualifying trade-in, and 2,000 on-the-job incentive for qualifying business owners. At least 5 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports, 1140. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
I don't know how this has taken so long. Here it is Wednesday. The 49ers suffered that humiliating defeat Sunday. And yet now, just now, we're hearing from TC.
He's been in mourning.
I hope he's okay.
He's been licking his wounds. He's been salty.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Here he is, TC. TC, are you all right? We've been worried about you.
Man, hey, check it. Mike check. Jake, thank you on the back. First and foremost, Whitey and Drake, what's up, man? Y'all know I'm good.
What's up with you, man?
We
you good?
We thought we'd hear from you on Monday. Yeah.
Nah, listen, I'm more than good, man. I just was letting it soak in because I'm trying to, I'm really analyzing it from the outside looking in, right? I'm starting to see all the fans wake up and smell the coffee. Like I said, I told Jay the other day, right? I said, they always say what's done in dark always comes to light. Check that, right? So all the weird stuff Kyle been doing, all the sneaky, all the shenanigans he be doing, bro, is coming to light now, and people are starting to realize. Give it by week 10, people will be talking about, we want Brock over Kyle. Trade Kyle to so-and-so team for picks and whoever else, but we keeping Brock. If it comes down to Brock and Kyle, I'm telling you, bro, a lot of people is picking Brock. That's all I got to say, bro. I just want to say what I was talking about, Kyle, bro. I wasn't lying when I was calling y'all. It was sounding like I was sounding crazy, bro, but I was being honest. That's all I got. Mike check.
Thank you, TC.
He's signing off. Mike check.
That's one of the reasons we thought we'd hear from you because,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't always agreed with you, but I know, TC, to your credit, you've been very consistent with your messaging and how you feel about Shanahan.
Right. Since day one, basically.
Absolutely.
You know, TC's not been a fan of Shanahan. To TC's point, though, Whitey, and I'm not saying fire the guy or anything like that, but should there be a little more criticism aimed at his way in terms of, we say it's the defense. Last year was the defense. Last year we blamed it on Steve Wilkes. This year we're going to blame it on Sorensen. We're going to blame it on lack of talent. We're going to blame it on Floyd not being good. Ultimately, the buck stops with Kyle Shanahan. Mm-hmm. And should he be getting questioned a little more criticism, if you will?
I'll say one thing to his credit. Today, he spoke to the media, did Kyle Shanahan, and he's not using the injuries as an excuse.
I mean, every time you have injuries, everyone knows that makes it tougher, but people have injuries throughout the league, and you got to be able to overcome those. You know, I felt we had every chance to win on Sunday, despite some of our injuries. So I felt we should have been 2-1. But we found a way to lose that, which is completely on us. And when you lose games that you believe you should have won, it makes it that much harder, injuries or no injuries. So I don't look into that to really why we lost. We had every opportunity to win that, and we made some mistakes that cost us. And that's what I hope we learn from. Not thinking about who we were missing. I thought we did some things that was good enough to win. But doing things that just good enough to win doesn't always guarantee you win. And you got to make sure you do it all the way to the end. And sometimes it's who can do right longer. And we didn't finish that to the end. And I don't think that has anything to do with injuries.
So I'll give him credit for not playing the, we were hurt card, but that wasn't your question. Your question was, doesn't he deserve more criticism? And I think the criticism is coming now. There's going to be more and more of it. If they end up falling short this year, if they don't even get back to where they were last year, when ultimately they failed to achieve their goal, there's going to be a ton of it. And a lot of it is, the same things keep coming up, like blown fourth quarter leads.
That's an issue, right? Blown fourth quarter leads? Mm-hmm. Is that an issue? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, Whitey, I'm listening to Kyle Shanahan talk, and my blood is starting to boil. My skin is starting to crawl. Way too many wheeze. Way too many wheeze. When is the guy, and I'm just throwing this out, when is he going to say, I need to do better?
That's probably not going to happen.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, even Bill Belichick would say, special teams, offense, defense, coaching, I need Kyle Shanahan to say, you know what? I got to have my guys better prepared. I got to have my guys better prepared to execute in late game situations. We, you know what we is all about? It's basically everybody's to blame. When everybody's to blame, nobody's really to blame, though. You can't point the finger because it's all of us. But the coach got to take some of the blame here. You just said it, Whitey. Blown fourth quarter leads. We talked last year about inability to come back in the fourth quarter. We go back to, when he was with the Falcons. Like, when is there going to be a microscope on Kyle Shanahan where he says, I got to be better? Like, is he going to fire Sorensen after this year? Then what? You know what I mean? And so I think he needs to take some more onus, more blame than instead of this we stuff.
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard him say, like Steve Kerr does it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done this better. I think maybe you guys remember, I think there's been a time or two where he said of a quarterback, like, well, I didn't give him a good throw there. I mean, I didn't give him a good play. I mean, rarely, but I think I've heard that. But he's not one to say, yeah, that one was on me. That's just not the way he operates, if I'm remembering correctly. Would you agree, Jay?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it is it's the big picture thing. Then most coaches go out there, like Mike Brown, we got to be better. I got to be better. I got to have my team prepared. Yeah, he's not that type of guy.
No, he didn't roll that way. Yeah. So
I'm not going to let him off the hook for that.
As long as you're winning. Yeah.
I mean, here's the problem though, boys. This is, and we could go back to last year too. We go into the season every year, man, the Niners, they got the best team out there. Then they struggle. Oh, they got to go. You want them to go get Hassan Reddick. How many weapons do you got to get before you say, nah, it's not the players.
They're going to get somebody, I would bet.
Right, I guarantee they will. I guarantee they'll get. But it's not the players. When are we going to say, you know what? Maybe we're not coaching them up the best we can be. Maybe I'm not putting these guys in the best possible situations. And I'm going to throw this at you, fellas. Defensively, did D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh make Kyle Shanahan look good on that side of the ball? Now you lose those two guys.
Yes.
Now he's scrambling.
That's what a good DC should do. But they definitely did that.
Yes.
Especially D'Amico.
I agree with you. Yeah, when D'Amico was here, it was unbelievable. But that's the thing. As the CEO of the company, if you will, when your general manager leaves, it's on you to find his replacement. And Steve Wilkes didn't work out. And if Sorensen doesn't work out, then I got to start questioning Kyle's hiring decision-making when it comes to that role.
Yeah, we might see a couple of new starters on the defense this week. And I'll tell you the one thing about Kyle Shanahan that to me is unacceptable when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
Toyota's legendary truck event is on, and the deals are legendary. Get $2,000 cash back on any 2024 Tundra, or get a great lease on a new 2024 Tacoma 4x4. Get to your Toyota dealer now, because this truck event is gonna be Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Ends 9/30/24.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Are you looking for a new van for your business? Maybe you want to go out on a camping trip or even haul your kids and their teammates to their sporting events. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the Sprinter van just for you. It's fully customizable, and plus it has that Mercedes star right on the front, so you know it has the premium quality that Mercedes sedans and SUVs are known for. Give the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van a test drive at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or go online at mbofstockton.com.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Hey, who needs to lose a few pounds and just left Las Vegas? Sluka Doncic. There you go. It's Drive Guys. Drive Guys.
Sluka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got Evan Drellich. Evan Drellich. I apologize. Coming up bottom of the hour, talking about what's going on with the A's, what's going on this week in Oakland, what the future holds for them here in Sacramento. But right now we're talking about the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. As we mentioned, could be some lineup changes this week. Here we go, though. To me, this is my personal grievance. This is what irritates me the most about Kyle Shanahan. And I'm going to read some here because this sums it up beautifully. It's a letter to Matt Barrows in The Athletic today from Pacey. Why has special teams been consistently bad for the 49ers in the Shanahan era? Right then when I saw that, I said, yeah, that's what I want to know. And Matt says it's about philosophy. He says Shanahan is not seeking big plays on special teams as much as he wants to avoid giving up big plays. He said as much Monday. Quote, the biggest thing is to not be one of the reasons that you lose. That's what Shanahan said. Matt Barrows says that's a fine philosophy when your offense is a juggernaut, your defense is powerful, but that's not where the 49ers are right now because of all their injuries and slow starting performers. Last year, they averaged 33 points in the first 5 games. This year, they're averaging 24. Last year, they allowed 17.5 points per game. This year, it's 23. And they're allowing 6.1 yards per play. So Matt Barrows says, 49ers, middle of the pack team on offense and defense. And a team in that situation needs special teams to contribute. More than that, special teams has been one of the reasons, a big reason, they've dropped their last 2 games.
I mean, you talk to any coach around the league, Whitey, they talk about 3 phases of the game.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, and special teams. They're equal. You got to have good special. You can lose a game. We saw it this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Special teams, you could argue, cost them that game. And for Kyle to
Don't forget, you had a punt blocked also in Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly, against Minnesota. And so for Kyle to sort of ignore that, I get your frustration. It's rightfully so. It's like, making a pie, but you only make 2/3 of it. Where's the other?
It's almost like my offense is so good.
We don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about that.
Barrows says other teams know that the 49ers don't emphasize special teams. Other teams take advantage. They realize they can be the aggressor, which the Rams did Sunday. Boom.
Boom. Fake
That's
punt.
unacceptable.
There you go, right there. Yep, fake punt. And what's interesting about this, too, is, and shout out to TC for coming on. He had the cojones, the stones, the onions to come on. 49ers fans all this week, they've been under a rock right now. When they win, they want to give Drapes all the smoke. How about you Eagles, Drapes? Now that they're losing, they're quiet out there. 916-339-1140. How come we're the only ones upset about this? How come we're the only ones saying, you know what? Something not quite right with Kyle Shanahan. Not saying get rid of him, but he has to be better. I'm looking on the YouTube chat. Brian Cardicelli. After all, I think TC is on to something. For the last 2+ years, TC has been very critical of Kyle.
Yes, he
and
has.
I've often disagreed with TC, but I don't know. I think he's right about a lot. And so he's this genius. He's done a fantastic job. TC is a genius. That's our guy. Kyle's done a fantastic job. 2 Super Bowls. But a lot of times he acts like he's the smartest guy in the room. And, when that happens, it's like, dude, sometimes you can be wrong. It's okay to sometimes say, you know what, my bad on that call, or I got to do better. He's not taking any accountability.
Before we get to the phones, here's a couple of lineup changes we could see. And this also speaks to what's going on with the team. Is it the defensive coordinator? Is it coaching? That's always a part of it. But let's be honest, some of the guys on defense the 49ers were counting on so far, they haven't played very well. For example, 49ers signed Devondre Campbell, 1 year, $5 million deal after Eric Kendricks, linebacker, he said, never mind, I want to go to the Cowboys instead. Devondre Campbell is not playing well. He struggled in pass coverage, and he struggled as an every down linebacker. So we might see somebody else. We might see D. Winters.
Yes. Look at Jay. He's been begging for that.
We might see Matt Mayoko breaking this down at NBC Sports Bay Area. We might see D. Winters. We might see Isaac Yadam on the sideline instead of on the field, which would mean, and Jay mentioned this yesterday, 2nd-round draft pick Renardo Green. Because Yadam, as we said yesterday, teams are seeing him like, hello, the cafe is open, going right at him.
Yeah.
Dominating now.
and that comes to coaching, right? You got to make those decisions.
Yes,
I mean, and to your point, and Matt Mayoko wrote about it, now might be time. This is back-to-back weeks. They've gotten burned defensively. They got to be better.
Yeah, the defense has been a sieve. And then the other change could be, there could always be other changes, but Jacob Cowing may finally get some more playing time, and Ronnie Bell may get less.
He's a little rusty, Pate.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I want to hear from Niners fans, Whitey. I mean, because I don't want to be the outsider. I don't want to be the Eagles guy hating on the Niners. What say you about your team, Niners fans?
Well, we invite them to call, but, it's like you're kind of drawing them out so you can hit them with a stick.
Yeah, maybe.
So they're a little, hey, come on out. I won't hurt you, I promise.
You got to have the same energy when you win as when you lose. Like, come on now. Don't be hiding under a rock right now.
Would you take Raider Ted? You wanted a 49er fan. Would you take Raider Ted?
Yeah, Raider Ted's cool.
Raider Ted.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Raider Ted?
I'm doing great. Even though, the Raiders aren't.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
But, I'm calling just to say, well, first off, Kuntz on the other defensive end, opposite side of Max, was supposed to be, our defense was supposed to be great this year, and it's not. And I don't really understand what happened against Carolina. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Thank you for calling it. We want to talk about the 49ers.
No, let me get to it.
Okay.
All right. I was going to let him have a little bit of a longer leash. Go ahead, Raider Ted.
All right. Sorry for taking so long to get to my point.
No worries.
Both teams are 1-2.
Yeah.
The Niners have nothing to worry about. They've got like three or four different players that are injured that are top tier players that are going to, this is fool's gold time, in my opinion, for a lot of these teams that started out hot. No way Buffalo keeps this going the whole year, but the Niners are going to come back. The Raiders, I don't know. I want O'Connell to start, and I want to see if our defense is going to start playing, and I want a whole new offensive coordinator. I don't trust him at all, and I just don't think the Niners have anything to worry about. So the fact that Niners fans aren't calling in to even say what I'm saying just goes to show that they do run and hide. Raiders fans don't, because we're used to
There it is, baby. There it is.
Thank you, Raider Ted.
No, we cut him off. Why we cut him off? He was
done.
He was starting to cook.
No, he was done.
Nah, he wasn't done.
That was his
Four
outro.
thumbs down.
He wasn't done. He was
outro.
just starting to cook.
We got him out. We did him a favor. We got him out strong.
Nah, he was just starting to cook. Man, he was that pot of water.
Shot clock was winding down.
He had the little bubbles, and then they started to become the big bubbles when you boil water. He was starting to cook.
Besides, we had to get to 10. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What's up, 10?
Hey, what's up, Whitey?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. And Juwan Jennings, what a statement from him, being behind guys like Debo and hearing about the Ayuk news and Kittle. He's like, man, let me show out for one game and stand my ground. And so I think Juwan Jennings' skyrocket value is going to go through the roof. Of course, he's getting picked up in if you play fantasy football. And I just think that this will step up all the third stringers in all of sports, in all of rosters, all around the world. The sixth man is an important position.
Yes, it is. Thank you. The third receiver. That's what Tin is saying there, Draves, is that he's agreeing with what Trent Williams said last week. Trent Williams said these injuries are a blessing in disguise because there's guys that have to play, and sometimes you find out, wow, Brock Purdy's pretty good. And now I know that earlier when we thought Debo was going to, Ayuk, when we thought Ayuk was going to be out. Remember you said, well, who's going to start? Who's going to start? We said Juwan Jennings.
Stop,
we said Juwan Jennings.
Whitey, this is embarrassing right now. 10 comes on. The Niners just got their butts handed to them late in the game, and 10 wants to talk about Juwan Jennings and third stringers around the league should be rejoicing right now.
We're just moving on.
And then we get Raider Ted on. Like, this is what I'm talking. And maybe Niners fans feel like, you know what, nothing to panic about. Yeah. We're all good. No need to. But I find it eerily, they are eerily quiet right now.
But they want to, 49er fans would want to come out maybe if there's somebody's like, hey, I feel your misery. But you don't feel that way.
No, this is a safe place, Whitey.
No,
this is a safe spot. Come on, man. I'm not.
You
trust
can't expect
my team isn't that much better.
Like, hey, come on out and talk to the Eagles fan about how badly you feel.
Because here's the thing, Whitey. I know it's my job. I don't need to sit up here 5 days a week talking about what's wrong with the Niners. It's not my team. I said, I talked about Shanahan. needs to be held accountable, needs to but what do Niners fans feel like? This is your team. This is Super Bowl or bust. You tell me what's going on, Niners fans, and don't just say the defense. We see that. Give me something better than that. Is Sorensen not putting the guys in the right position? Are the guys dogging it? I saw some video that people are posting on Twitter about Hargrave maybe not giving maximum effort. What's happening out there to your team, Niners fans?
Can I give you one as a Niner fan, and I represent the faithful here? You guys were talking about Shanahan's ego, some of the things that I think he lacks. And I'll kick right back over. I think we haven't heard any changes. And I look this deep into it. I know a lot of 49er fans don't do it, and it's part of my job, but I haven't seen a lot of changes over in that physical training department since the 3 years ago. And to me, Drapes, I think if we're encompassing a full organization, and I'll just, I'll kick it back to something that you are a part of, which is the Sacramento Kings. The organization matters. What you eat, how you operate, the routine, how you travel, all of that comes into fruition. And I remember a couple years ago, the 49ers had a few games back-to-back on the East Coast. And remember, Shanahan he came back to Ohio to go back to Washington at one point in time. He came back to Ohio to go back to, I believe it was Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. And so those are the things that he gets praised for. But we also have to start to look at with Shanahan, the other things, not just on the field, but the preparation to on the field things that I think Shanahan, and that goes back to what Mayoko was talking about, when it comes to special teams, Whitey. I think there's some things Shanahan has to begin to get better at when it comes to preparational to putting his team on the field.
There are some clouds over Santa Clara right now for the 49ers. Here's the darkest one. The injuries are not necessarily the darkest one. And we don't know what's going on with CMC, and obviously that would be a critical loss if he can't come back. But a bigger issue for Shanahan and the team right now, that 49er culture, which has helped them get to 2 Super Bowls and continue to be an excellent team. Right now, there are some cracks in it, and that doesn't mean they can't be repaired. Right. But when you have people holding out every year and people who hold out then come back, but they're not playing their best, which is happening with Trent Williams, happening with Ayuk.
Get signed, get in camp, and we don't drop the ball.
Exactly. It happened with Bosa last year. That's fine. I think we're all like, hey, the players should get what the players should get. But when that happens, your culture, everybody all for one cause, all of a sudden, not everyone's on the same page. Not everyone is striving with maximum effort for the same goal. If that starts to happen, especially after they've been near the top for many years now, they've heard everything Shanahan has to say, right? Year after year after year. That's the biggest threat to the 49ers right now, is that 49er culture that it's all been based on. There are some cracks in it right now.
Yeah, Whitey, and I agree. And to your point, the Niners, and it's still very early in the season. Well, let's put that asterisk on there. It's still very early, but right now, they don't look like a unified group.
Right.
They look like just a bunch of guys playing football, not an actual team right now.
Right.
And that starts at the top too, man. To Jay's point, man, being the head coach isn't just about calling plays. Isn't just about what happens on Sunday. It's about preparation for the week. It's about being prepared for any scenario. And that's why Bill Belichick was so great. He went over everything. Like, your players should know the overtime rules in the Super Bowl. And the Niners guys did. And so being a coach is just more than X's and O's. You're the CEO of an organization, basically. And Shanahan, to your point, starting to develop some cracks there.
Yep, and we'll return to that conversation. But when we come back, Evan Drellich's going to join us from The Athletic. What's going on with the A's right now this week, and what does the future hold for them in Sacramento? They are coming to Sacramento, right? We'll find out next on Sactown Sports.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirks Bentley, Parmalee, Sasha, plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corval, California Champaign.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Don't miss Comedy for a Cause, Thursday, September 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. An outstanding evening of comedic performances. All proceeds from Comedy for a Cause will benefit the Placer County Sheriff's Activities League and Child Abuse Prevention Council of Placer.
Mega Chevy saves you $13,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LTZ in stock after rebates. All of them.
Silverado savings spectacular now at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/24.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We'll return to that 49er conversation for many reasons. One reason being, Drapes, 49er fans, I think, they finally had enough of you. They're responding. So we'll get back to
They woke up from their nap, finally.
Man, like, it's dangerous. Let's see. I'm in misery right now. My team's playing horribly, and the Eagle fan is telling me to come out and play. Well, I want to trust him. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, though, we're going to turn our attention back to the A's, a very special week in Oakland. Chris Watkins is going to be there at the game tomorrow.
Oh, he's going down there?
Yeah,
Okay.
The final. I guess I've just been in denial. I don't want to think of it as the final Oakland A's game in Oakland. With more, our next guest, he is a hero in the eyes of many A's fans because he wrote the book Winning Fixes Everything about the Houston Astros scandal. Senior writer with The Athletic, Evan Drellich. Evan, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Let's start with that John Fisher letter. What did you think of John Fisher's letter to A's fans?
I don't see it as what was the upside? What was the thought process there that, this is the thing that's going to finally produce that warm and loving outcome for John Fisher in a PR move? It was baffling to me. There were parts of it that were clearly kind of stretching the truth. And it's just another in a long series of missteps that his ownership group has made, that he's made.
Yeah, I really think, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Drapes. I know you got lots of questions. Evan, I think a big part of it was he just seized the opportunity to push that false narrative again that, we did all we could. I think that ultimately is why he did that.
Yeah, look, I think you can sit there and imagine that they thought, well, it's the final week. We got to say something. How do we not say something? Well, if you're going to say something, make sure it's something that's not inflammatory. And the problem is there's really nothing in this situation that he could say that wouldn't be inflammatory. But you can imagine, you and I, the three of us could sit down
and try to write a letter. I bet we could come up with a slightly better version than that one.
Drellich, what's up, man? It's your boy Drapes, man. Thanks for coming on with us. Scott Boras a couple weeks ago talked about, Sacramento might not be up to snuff when it comes to major league facilities. And we understand that, it's a smaller ballpark. We all understand that. How much do you think that plays into the viability of baseball in Sacramento? Is that a real issue? And do you think players would push back on a playing here in Sacramento if the facilities aren't up to MLB standards?
What's up, James? Good to hear from you. The players, the union does not ultimately have the ability to say no. I mean, barring truly their health and safety being endangered, I mean, in a really demonstrable way, like, could the union then pull the players out? Yeah, but we're really not looking at that kind of situation. I think it is very possible that free agents would look at Sacramento and go, it's not really where I want to be. That's good. But again, if I saw this when I was covering the Astros going back a decade, they were a terrible team, but you know what? You throw enough money at somebody, you throw $30 million at a veteran pitcher like Scott Feldman at the time, you can you can sign somebody. So I think there are going to be players who will be there. It might not be the number one destination. It might be closer to the bottom of the list, but it's not as though they literally are not going to be able to sign anybody.
Mm-hmm. Evan Drellich with us from The Athletic, talking about the A's situation. Evan, one thing I have to say, A's current ownership, they're the goats of this. They're great at kicking stadium plans down the road. I mean, they're great at taking stadium plans and, that sounds great, kicking them down the road until they finally get to a point years later where either the plans have fallen apart or they just kind of quietly back out. They did it in Oakland. They may be doing it in Vegas. At what point does MLB wise up to this, especially given that this strategy may have secured them their revenue sharing extension that they just earned?
Yeah, supposedly next month is going to be a big one in terms of the A's presenting to the Stadium Authority in Vegas 3 different agreements that they need to present for this thing to keep moving forward. One of the interesting things about the Sacramento deal was that it has the option to stay there for 28. It was the first time they really kind of publicly contemplated for all of us to see, well, maybe the stadium doesn't end up opening on time. At some point, the credibility of the commissioner is on the line in a pretty serious way, I think. If you're going to put all the eggs in the Las Vegas basket and then that doesn't work out, something drastic I would think would have to happen, but we're not there, right? MLB's position, the commissioner's position is that this will get done, and that it will get done as of now on time, as long as they start construction April or May of next year. So we're not at that tipping point, but yeah, look, if you don't end up in Vegas, I mean, how do you ever believe a thing that comes out of Rob Manfred's mouth again? Truly.
Yeah, 100%. Evan Drellich joining us. Evan, when you look at the opportunity for the A's to move to Vegas, I understand Major League Baseball wanting a team in Vegas. Why do you think they didn't consider, let's say, expansion? Why this team do you think Rob Manfred signed off and having them move to Vegas?
The owners like the idea of expansion because it will bring them a big check. You can charge a fee of maybe $1 billion, maybe more, when you expand the league. The position the commissioner has had, which I think is the right one, is we can't expand until we deal with what was going on with Oakland and Tampa. They both have had obviously long stadium pursuits, and Tampa's we'll see where that one goes. It seems to be making progress, but I do think it would be a mistake when you have franchises that are kind of not. I mean, look, even in Miami, they're not drawing. It's a weird choice to expand when you've got teams that are just not in a great place with their stadiums and with their attendance. And there is a pretty big disparity in baseball when it comes to the franchises that do well and those that don't.
Evan, I know this could be apples and oranges, but I'm just curious. When the pandemic forced the Blue Jays to play in Buffalo, they played at a minor league facility for an extended period. Any lessons to be learned there? You think that MLB will apply to Sacramento? Did that overall work out better than they thought? I mean, in what ways, if any, does what happened there maybe apply to the A's short-term future in Sacramento?
That's actually a good question. I should ask somebody that question directly. I think the reality is, if we didn't hear about a disaster up there, that means they did it pretty well. Right? I can't recall there being some. I
don't either. Yeah.
This is pre-lockout, and I've buried a lot of those thoughts and memories. Look, they are pretty good at putting on special events. I think they're pretty good at setting up stadiums the way they need to. From what I understand, the Players Union and the league office have actually been working pretty well together on this. If this hasn't been, some sort of throwdown fight, the Players Union will say, "Hey, we need you to adjust on this, this, and this." And I think the league is trying. I don't. There's no interest, I think, at the league to make this any worse than it has to be. It would not serve them to have a crumbling stadium or to have players melting in the heat out there. It's incumbent on them to do as much as they possibly can to try to make that a major league type experience.
Hey, Evan, I'll switch gears just a little bit. I got to get a Giants question in here. They've won 5 in a row, but not going to the postseason. What do you see what's happening with the Giants? Should there be a change in leadership? Should Farhan be out? What do you see in what's happening with the Giants?
I've known Farhan a pretty long time, and he's certainly very smart, but I also sense the impatience that exists in that market. I'm not going to call for somebody's job today at the moment, but I do think there is a reality that there's an expiration on the amount of time you get as a GM to turn things around, or as a president of baseball operations. And when people go through rebuilds, sometimes you can get longer than maybe somebody in a different market. I think Farhan will be a contributor in any organization he's in if they do move on. But it's at some point you need results. I am a believer in that.
Evan, we'll let you go on this one. There are a lot of us in town that aren't at all happy with the way this A's situation has unfolded. That said, they are, at least we think they are, coming here next year. They'll be here for a few years, it would appear. So could you just give us your unvarnished view of, I know they're outperforming expectations to a degree in the second half. What's the state of this baseball team that's headed to Sacramento next year?
I was looking at the roster the other day, and I was trying to ask myself, well, how many of these guys have I actually heard of? And I'm covering off the field stuff these days, so I'm actually not the best person for that type of stuff. But look, they didn't trade Miller at the break. They could at the deadline. They could have. I think the A's have always been scrappy and able to cobble together teams when you don't expect it. I don't know why that would change going over to Sacramento, right? They're not that many years removed from a division title, even though that was the shortened season. So I think it's a cool thing for Sacramento. Put all the rest of it aside. Yeah. You're going to have a major league team there as long as something screwy doesn't happen here. It's totally possible. There's plenty of parity in baseball. The A's absolutely at some point in those 3 to 4 years could put together an exciting team. Whether that's next year, maybe not.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A great follow on Twitter, by the way, Evan Drellich. Thank you, Evan. We appreciate it very much and hope to talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So what do you think, Drapes?
No, Evan is spot on, man. He's spot on with the way Major League Baseball has handled this. He's spot on with the way John Fisher has handled this. And, the fact that, I go back to the question I asked him, why would Major League Baseball allow this team? And I get they got to, fix the Oakland situation to Tampa, but John Fisher shouldn't be rewarded with a new market, a growing market, a booming market. Why would Major League Baseball do that? It's frustrating.
Sometimes I wonder if maybe baseball wants the A's in Vegas more than the A's actually want to be in Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they love the idea of, we got these stadium plans. Oh, this looks great. It's never going to happen. But, it just always buys them time.
Yeah.
They're experts at that.
Right. And he said, by April of 2025, construction got to begin. I mean, you would think it's probably a 3-year construction. And so it's interesting to see what happens here.
If they're here 4 years, can we at least get them to agree for the 4th year? You got to say you're Sacramento, right? If you're here 4 years, you got to say you're the Sacramento A's.
But then do you take that name and all that with you? And, then we have to come up with the Sacramento somethings else.
They
You know what I
going
mean?
Anywhere. Like Jay said, they're not going to Vegas. All right. You want to get back to that 49er
Yes,
conversation?
we got to.
Are you ready for 49er fans to come after
Yeah,
you?
they don't need to. They need to go after Shanahan. Don't come after me. I just want to hear what y'all think about your squad right now.
Next on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Temperatures will spring back to summer-like levels on Thursday. We'll start in the upper 50s, but with light winds, afternoon highs will be around 90 degrees again. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years. Right here in Folsom.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop Prints That Pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
How you feeling? Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Yes, a contentious week for 49er fans. You got 49er fans calling out Brandon Ayuk. You got the media calling out Brock Purdy for missing Ayuk on a seam route. You got 49er fans calling out Kyle Shanahan. You got Kyle Draper, the Eagle fan, calling out 49er fans today.
I'm just saying they've been quiet this week. You know, when they win and my Eagles lose, they coming at me. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with the Niners. I want to hear their frustrations. Not about me, not about the Eagles, their team. Why are they quiet this week?
Licking their wounds, maybe. Trying to make sense of this whole thing. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's talk to Will on Sactown Sports. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing excellent. I had to pull over my car and actually just park just for this segment.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Let's hear it, Will.
All right, man. Here we go. All right, this is Will. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area. All right. Been a 49er fan since I even knew what football is or was. All right. So the reason why 49er fans are the way we are, it's a culture. There is nobody worried, man. How many teams have even made it to the Super Bowl, excuse me, repeatedly in the last few years? We always win our conference, right? I think you know that this is a fact. Now, a constructive criticism, could we be a little bit more creative? Maybe some special plays here and there. Sure, of course we can do that, right? But what we're not doing is we're not panicking. We're the 49ers faithful. There is nothing to panic about at all. This is what, the third game or so, right? As you'll see, as the time goes on, the season goes on, we'll be in the playoffs again and probably be going back to the Super Bowl. Now, with that said, this is for Kyle. Can you hear me okay?
I got you, big fella. I'm letting you cook here. I'm letting you cook. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because you asked for the smoke, so here it comes. Now, when I get to going, don't cut me off. And I'm serious. Don't cut me off. I'm gonna be respectful, but don't cut me off just because you got the button. Okay, so we're talking about coaching and CEOs, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about situational awareness. Kyle, you are here in a 49er market. Okay, your radio station, from what I understand, says that you guys are the home of the 49ers, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. What you kind of remind me of, right, is a DJ that used to be on in KMEL named Rick Chase. I'm not sure if you know who he is or not, but he was like a shock jock. Okay, so he's a shock jock, right? One of those guys is supposed to, kind of be an antagonist, if you will, right? So I know when I listen to you that you're going to have something disparaging to say about the 49ers, right? Now, I get through it because I listen to this radio station. But if I'm a 49er fan, right, and it irks the mess out of me, I can only imagine how many other people that are listening to you that it irks them. Because you would think that you would be a non-biased, radio a personality, if you will, right? Bro, this is not the East Coast. You are not in Philadelphia. I liken the way that you do your show to how, let me give you a comparison. Could you imagine that you was in San Francisco, Bay Area, in the Giants market, and all you do is talk about how much you love the Dodgers? Bro, they would run you up out of town. So as far as the CEO or a radio program director standpoint, which I don't know, I'm not in radio, right? I'm questioning their call. I'm questioning, are they in touch with the market? Do they understand that they are less than an hour and a half?
So what are you saying? What are you saying, Will? Go ahead. What are you saying? What are you saying? Just call it like it is, Will. Say what you thinking, big fella. Say what you thinking. Let me tell you this. Did you listen to the show yesterday when I gave Brock Purdy 2 segments of love? No, you don't. The thing about me, and I'll tell you this straight from the heart, just because somebody signs my checks, I got to keep it real, big fella. And so I have not disparaged the San Francisco 49ers today. I said the same things Jay said. I said the same things Whitey said. Where's the criticism for Kyle Shanahan? The defense has to be better. That has nothing to do with being a Philadelphia Eagles fan. See, you're a little butthurt right now because your team is 1-2. Your team is 1-2.
Kyle, press pause. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not butthurt because I'm not panicked, Kyle. This is what you need to understand, Kyle. I'm not panicked at all. Like we do every year, Kyle, since the last, few years, we're going to be fine. We're going to bounce back, and we're going to be in the playoffs. I'm not worried at all. At all. It's not a question about being worried. You want me to give you a criticism about Shanahan? This is what I'll tell you. Ready? Mm-hmm. This is for you. Hey, Kyle, every now and then, do a little bit more, creative, dynamic play. You know what I'm saying? Do it like a trick play every now and then. But here's the deal, bro. Everybody makes a game plan, right? When you set out to have a football game. And then you execute that plan. If that plan doesn't work, you know what you do? You go back the next week, you go back to the drawing board, and you cook up something else, and you go out there and you execute again. You were talking about coaching. Do you think that they're coaching Moody? Hey, Moody, when it's time for you to kick an extra point, or it's time for you to kick a field goal, you know what we want you to do? We want you to, be in fairy tale land and not kick the ball.
How about the fake punt coverage? How about the fake punt coverage?
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying. Hear me.
Jay, cut this guy off, man. He got too much of my time. Here's the thing. First of all, he's coming at me saying I'm just being this way because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm calling it like I see it. And if I'm more upset about what happened these last 2 weeks than Niners fans, then y'all got the issue. I shouldn't be more upset about the job Shanahan's doing, the collapse in the fourth quarter, the defense getting burned on deep plays. Why am I more upset about that than Niners fans are? And this guy's like, oh, we're not panicking. I'm going back to the off season. I'm going back to the CMC injuries. I'm going back to Ayuk. I'm going back to Trent Williams. I'm going back to the injuries. If you're not concerned, the house is burning down, big fella. You got to be like, no, hold on now. Things got to be better. And this guy's like pie in the sky. Nope, we'll be okay. You'll be okay when you're 2-6.
He's not worried. How about Steven? Can we get to Steven? Steven joining us here on Sactown Sports. Hello, Steven. What's up? Thanks for hanging. Steven?
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
It's getting hot in here. Little Nelly from Steven. Yeah.
Is it hot in here
a little
or
bit.
is it just me, man? Okay. All right, Kyle. You said you wanted some fans. I'm gonna come. I'm not gonna come at you. I'm gonna be right here with you, okay? Because honestly, I like the way that you see things, and I like your vision. Because as a 49er fan, I don't want to listen to a station of homers. I don't want to listen to I don't want to listen to a bunch of how should I put this? A bunch of riders. If you're catching my drift here, okay? I don't like that. Okay, if I want to listen to like a bunch of people talk about like my favorite team, the Niners, then I want some unbiased. Don't get me wrong. I want some homerism. I want some, but I don't want someone that's going to be riding them hard all day long. I want something that someone's going to push back. So
You want a little objectivity, right? You want a little objectivity.
Look at it a little differently. Yeah.
I want someone that's going to look at it from a different perspective. And because you come from the East Coast, you come from a completely different market. That is, because I get where the last call is coming from. You come from a completely different market. If I go to Philly, that's all I'm going to be drowning in, man. I'm going to be a 49er fan. If you're like, why isn't anyone talking about the Niners? Well, because I'm in a completely different market. So here's my criticism. I'm right there with you, Jay. I think the personal trainers and I think some of the staff on the PT side, it needs to be cleared out. And we need to get some real professionals in here because these injuries are starting to pile up and they're starting to stack up. Now, as far as contracts and stuff like that, I don't like the fact that we've been starting out these seasons in the Kyle Shanahan era where there's always been one contract dispute or someone's butthurt, someone's upset, someone wants to sit out. As a 49er fan, that's where I'm mad about because if there is this culture that's in this locker room and there's this culture that's surrounding the team, why is there always one person that's always butthurt and upset, being like, oh, I want my money. Like, you have to understand, like, these players have to understand that, like, there are other people that are waiting their turn, i.e. Juwan Jennings. Where we kind of went wrong, I feel like we gave Ayuk the bag a little bit too soon because we were kind of scared of not having that talent right there.
We got to wrap it up here, Steven. Go ahead and make your point. You got to wrap it up. Yeah, it's all right.
That's essentially my point, man. So I appreciate you guys giving me the floor, man. Thank you very much.
All right, Steven. Thanks. We take a quick time out. We'll get back to the phones at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. To Steven's point, we'll look at the 49ers' history of firing head athletic trainers. Also, is this a must-win game for the Niners? It's next. Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, "Man, I stink." And my brother was like, "I hate this car." And my mom was all, "I'm dying in here." Then I said, "It's time to call Stockton Honda." Then Dad was like, "Honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite." And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Lively 49er conversation today before we get back to the phones on this, the 7th anniversary of Crumble Cookies. Thank you, Crumble Cookies, for the
shout out.
All the cookies. Place is crawling downstairs with cookies, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it was earlier. By now, probably gone. But Steven called, and Steven brought up something that we've been talking about a lot. Jay has been talking about this a lot last couple of weeks. The 49ers and all the injuries. So this is from January 11th, 2019, NBC Sports Bay Area. Jennifer Lee Chan wrote this. 49ers fire head athletic trainer Jeff Ferguson after string of injuries. That's 2019. Kyle Shanahan said, "It's been too big of a deal for 2 years. Injuries are pretty random, but it's also affected us huge." So that's something that we definitely have to sit back and really look at from all angles and put a lot of time into it, just try to find a better perspective at it. So what they did then was they hired a guy who'd been with the Broncos, Dustin Little, and he's been the head athletic trainer ever since.
And when was this again?
Well, he was hired in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, and his predecessor had been fired in 2019 because they had the same problem then. Shanahan's first couple of years, there's like everyone's getting injured. So that would suggest it's not the trainers. I don't know. It's probably something where nobody can tell you definitively it's this or it's that, but it's been an issue for the 49ers as long as Kyle Shanahan has been here, and it's been a problem under different trainers.
Yeah, and it's something, Jay's been talking about for a while. The only thing that can derail the Niners is injuries. Last year they got bumped and bruised a little bit, but they were pretty much devoid of the major injury. And you saw what happened. They got to the Super Bowl. This year resembles more like 2 years ago, let's say, with the injuries that we're seeing. And so to Jay's point, you may have to look at the medical staff, the training, what's your weekly regimen? What are they eating? I don't know, but it's clear, and all teams face injuries. We know that.
Right.
You guys tell me, does it feel worse historically in San Francisco?
Yes. Yeah. The 49ers saw 17 players spend time on injured reserve in 2018, including Jimmy Garoppolo and Jerick McKinnon, who I think both blew out their knees. In 2017, 24 players were placed on IR. So they tried, what are we going to do? We got to get a new trainer in here.
Yeah.
They got a new trainer in here, somebody that obviously the Shanahans trusted, someone who'd been with Denver, and it's still a problem.
Yeah. It's definitely an issue. We getting back to the phones, man, because I'm spicy right now.
Yes.
I'm feeling spicy.
I don't know what we have on the phones. We may have people that just want to bring you flowers.
All right, okay.
Maybe they want to bring you something. Maybe they want to bring you something else. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Dwayne has been hanging on. Hey, Dwayne, what's up?
What's going on, fellas? Hey, listen, man, I called as soon as I heard that one caller get at you like that, man. I had to get on the phone call, man, because the 49ers, it's a disparaging situation. You know what I'm talking about? These cats out here in 49er faithful, they want to gloss over everything that's happened since they blew the Super Bowl. And they just want to find some, I don't know, man, some light at the end of the tunnel, but there isn't one, man. Shanahan will not win the big game. He will blow the game in the fourth quarter. Wilkes was a scapegoat. And so after that, you go get Staley and put him with Shanahan. Like I said the other day, man, the 49ers not making the playoffs, man. So I just wanted to reiterate that. They're not making the playoffs. They might not even beat New England, fellas.
Let me ask you a question. No, Dwayne, don't hang up. You still there, Dwayne? You there, Dwayne? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. I need to know. Right, that's what I was going to ask. I'm like, you got to declare your team. Like, if that's a Niners fan saying that, that's one thing. If it's a Cowboys or Eagles or Raiders fan, that's another.
I'd guess Raiders, wouldn't you, Jay?
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, Dwayne. I don't mean to insult you. 339-1140.
Just never know these days. He might like Patriots wrong.
How about Rich on Sactown Sports? Hey, Rich, how are you?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys, again. Everyone needs to calm down. Every hater out there, every lover, everyone needs to calm down about Shanahan. This guy, 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs, and he shut him out basically the whole game with a few mistakes. At the end, we lose. This guy is young. Look at Andy Reid, all the lumps he took before, bam, he got 3 in a row. Look how young Shanahan is. That's what I'm telling everyone. Everyone needs to calm down. Shanahan's problem, he needs to stop and trust his rookies. Because if he would have done a 1-2 punch last year with Mason and McCaffrey, you might have McCaffrey now, and they would have won the Super Bowl.
All right, thank you, Rich. Appreciate the call.
Why you cutting Rich off?
Wait, hold on, I ain't done.
All right, go ahead. His name's not McCaffrey. That's my only issue.
That's not me, Rich. That's not me.
What I'm saying is if he would have used them properly last year, what he needs to do is put trust in his players, more trust, and quit over thinking things. If he does that, he's going to have 10 Super Bowls in a row soon. Watch.
All right, Rich. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let him go. Okay. All right.
McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey.
You heard McCaffrey or whatever. You're like, he got to go. He got to go. Oh, man.
Thomas joins us here. Let's go to Thomas on Sactown Sports. T, what's up?
Hey, just want to say I think the biggest problem with the Niners is Kyle Shanahan getting in his own way. When things are working for him, he goes different directions to try to make it look like he's some genius with play calling instead of just going with the basics and working what's working, like running it down their throat. That's what he needs to continue to do until it stops working.
Thomas, did you think that was an issue? I'm not calling you out or anything. I'm just curious. Did you think that was an issue against the Rams?
I think it was an issue against the Rams and the Vikings. I think, especially with the Vikings, with how smothering their defense was. Jordan Mason was running the ball down their throat and continuing to run it down their throat. 5-6 yards of play, and he kind of just went away from it. What worked for him in the Jets game was kind of a balanced offense Minnesota, he went away from it in the first 5 minutes of the game with all these passes instead of running and setting up the run game. Once you set up the run game, you can go play action and pass it and do what you need to do. But I also want to say I love Kyle Draper. I wish he would call more Kings games because he keeps it real with the fans, and I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas, call in anytime, big fella. He get the Jay, we gotta give him the bat phone number so he could just get right up to the top of the queue.
Jay, we should cut him off. That's
caller of the day right there, Thomas. Appreciate it.
You know, the thing about Shanahan not running the ball, they didn't run the ball a lot in the second half against the Rams. And
yeah.
They threw the ball 7 of the first 8 plays against Minnesota. I have to think that teams, knowing that no Debo and no Christian McCaffrey, teams have been loading the box and teams have just been daring them to throw. I have to think that's part of it.
I wonder too, and I don't know the answer to this, how much of it is Kyle calls something, does Brock check out of it? Seeing the defense the way he's
going to do that. It better work.
Right. It better. I don't know. I'm legitimately asking that question, but you brought it up yesterday or 2 days ago that they went away from the run in the second half.
Yeah.
It's like you got to lead. Aren't you supposed to eat up some clock? And they didn't do that. And so that's where the criticism comes in that our guy Thomas was just talking about.
You want some good 49er news?
Yeah, what you got?
Brock Purdy practiced today. Still has a sore back, but full participant.
All right.
In practice.
Because I'm not panicked, Kyle.
Why do you say my name like that, man? Hey, Jay.
He was making a point.
You know when somebody say your name like that, that's usually fighting words, right?
Absolutely.
We're about to square up.
He didn't say your name. He spit your name.
Because I'm not panicked, Kyle.
Kyle?
Yeah.
I'll let him get away with that one, man. I'm going to calm down. But usually those are fighting words.
I do think it was Will, right? I think he speaks for a lot of 49er fans. There are a lot of fans that feel like, you know what? A little early for all this, guys. That was Jay.
It is.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, there's a difference between panicked. You said it earlier on Monday, Whitey. Last week you asked me, "Well, oh, you panicked in a bad loss," and I was like, "Nah." Like teams are supposed to lose. As much as and let me talk to the faithful here.
I was disappointed and frustrated.
Yes. Don't let Draper get you out your character, faithful.
Oh, come on.
Don't let Draper get you out your face. Don't get out of character. But this is the thing too, and you guys know this. There is and I asked you guys this yesterday. There is a week that comes along where if this is plodding along and they're playing 500 ball or below 500 ball, panic sets in. Right now, it's week 4. But hold on, Dre, before you kick it back. Panic is probably not the best word to say, but if you're concerned, if you're frustrated, if you are livid, then yes, absolutely. I can definitely feel your frustration. I can feel your anger. And I'm also piggybacking on this. All years are different. I'm the one. But if the 49ers had accomplished some things in the last handful of years, we wouldn't be so pressed into making it be now.
Right.
And that's what all media is making it has to be now. We know that. I think 49er fans know that. And I think the team knows that. We've heard numerous players say, we know that. But that doesn't mean we're going to all of a sudden get out our character and panic. And I think that's the frustrating thing about what Shanahan is. He still comes to the podium. And you know what he says, fellas? Hey, injuries have slowed us down. We got to be better. No excuses. It's coach talk. Every coach does it. What coach comes up there and say, you know what, man, this is just full of panic. Like Sirianni and them fell down last year. Nobody was screaming panic. And
you know what they were screaming? Fire is back. And I'll tell you what,
I got you. And that's what I agree with. What you say, not to cut you off, is that's where we have to be real now. And that's what TC has been saying. That's what some people has been saying. We do need to start to look at certain things of why this hasn't been accomplished, Drape. I agree with you.
But here's the thing too, Jay. There's a such thing as called Monday morning quarterback. We've been all week long, and I ain't heard a peep from 49ers fans. It's like they don't have a pulse. Whether call me up and tell me, Kyle, we're not panicking, we're good. Just show me something. Show me. You know what? It's like that meme with that guy with the stick. I'm poking Niners fans. Are you out there? And maybe to I think it was Chris, whoever called it. Point. I am from the East Coast.
Will
was it Will? Yeah, Will. I am from the East Coast. We go back and forth with each game. We living and dying with each game. I worked in Boston. You know, they wanted to fire Joe Mazzulla the season before they won the championship. I'm saying, and I'm not saying come down on Kyle. I'm just saying, let me know how you feel. Where you at? How come me and Whitey, and I know it's our job, for 4 hours, we can talk about it all day, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is going on here? I'm not saying call anybody out. I'm not saying kick anybody to the curb, fire anybody, but show me your thought. I'm trying to get a read on how y'all feel about your team.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's see what AC has for us on Sactown Sports. How you doing, AC?
Hey, long time no talk. I just tuned in time to hear someone ripping Kyle a new one. And not being the biggest Kyle Draper fan myself, I will say this. The man is loyal to the Kings, and he could be hinting around with Boston and his roots and all that stuff, but no, he's not that way. So I don't want to hear any more 40 whiner fans talking about how bad things are, because I'm a Dolphins fan. You think things are bad in Ninerland? Come live with us in Dolphin Land. You'll see what bad's really like.
There you go.
Boy, he alienated a lot of people.
Yeah, he did, right? I'm not a Kyle Draper fan.
It could be worse. My team's terrible, and I don't like that guy, but you know what?
Oh, my God.
Could be worse. Yeah.
Where are we going here, man? Where are we going?
You are the one that opened the, as you call it, the Pandora's
box. They're showing me they got a pulse, and people are going to say things I don't like. That's part of the job, though, Whitey. You know what I mean? You got to have thick skin in this job, but at least let me know what you feel. You know, the worst thing is apathy, where it's like you don't care either way. I need to see some passion right now. Your team is 1-2. You're 2 games behind the Seahawks in the division. You know, home field is extremely important in the NFL playoffs. Like, how are you feeling, Nine? That's all I'm asking, Whitey.
You know, my high school basketball coach was mad at me, and he's, Gleason, I don't know if you're ignorant or apathetic.
Right.
And I said, Coach, I don't know, and I don't
care. Exactly. That's what it.
You know, AC made a good point, though.
What?
Seriously. You know, I'm a Dolphins fan. There are some teams for whom right now, like, the season's, like, already almost over.
Imagine being a Bengals fan today.
Yeah.
Something
you know?
like Cowboys.
So, and the 49ers, things are not where they thought they'd be, but, you know, it's not like, oh, man, they have no chance now.
Right.
So that's a great point. For the Dolphins right now, they don't have a quarterback.
Yes, but here's the thing, Whitey. This is
Jacksonville.
And
my goodness.
And I understand we're more laid back out here on the West Coast. You know what I mean? We're not, you know, living and dying with every game. But this team has come up short time and time again. Sure, they've been to 2 Super Bowls, but they've come up short. When are we going to stop having this blind faith? Everything will be okay. And when are we going to say, you know what? To Jay's point, these injuries, why is this happening so much? Late game execution. Why is this? It's like you can't question anything regarding the Niners right now.
How about G joining us here? What up, G? Sactown Sports, Drive Guys. Hello, G.
Yeah, hello, fellas. My observation is the 49ers, they haven't won a Super Bowl since back in the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl days. I mean, it's kind of big-headed up here. And also, just observation, what is Shanahan's record pre-Brock Purdy? I'll let you guys take it from here.
All right. I actually didn't hear his question. Because
I think he said, what's Shanahan's record pre-Brock Purdy? And I think you could throw
he was probably
CMC
a little bit
in that
over
too.
500, because I know he got off the terrible start. And I think he got it back over 500 before Brock took over.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, you know, when we first started this show, Whitey, a year ago, I thought, you know, Shanahan could be questioned. His record could be questioned because, yes, he went to the Super Bowl. Yes, he went to NFC championships. But it's like, it's almost feast or famine. One season they're 13-4, next season 6-11 or whatever. You know what I mean? And he's had a couple of those. And so I give him credit for last season. They went to the Super Bowl. Now back it up again. And I understand injuries play a part. And I know it's still early, but some of the same issues, and you said it, not me, late game execution, not being able to finish. These are issues that have happened with this squad.
Yeah.
You know,
special
teams. Yeah.
6-10, 4-12, 13-3, 6-10, 10-7. I think that was his record before Brock came along. So I think that's a little bit over 500.
And let's remember that 10-7 season, they got hot. They got hot at the end. Was that the Super Bowl season, 10-7?
No, The Super Bowl years, they were 13-3 and then 12-5.
All right.
I think that might have been
the year after
NFC championship game.
Okay, NFC
but
championship.
To me, if I understand you right, to me that's not necessarily a negative. If you get to the NFC championship game or further, I don't care if you were 10-7. The 49ers won the Super Bowl one year; they were 10-6, and with Bill Walsh. So it's like,
let me ask you this then: how many years has Shanahan been coach?
8 years.
8th year.
I just have it right in front of me.
Yeah. How many years has he finished under 500?
3.
And
this year he's under 500 now, but obviously not
and
finished.
we'll take out really
First 2
7
years and his 4th year.
So really 7 full years, right?
Yes.
Under 500, 3 years. Above 500, 4 years.
Yeah, but under, over, under, and then over.
So the last 3 years over.
And 2 trips to the Super Bowl. Yeah, and multiple trips to the NFC Championship game. So anyway, if I understand you right, I don't really care what my regular season record is if I end up going deep into the playoffs.
916. I'm a Niner fan. We are fine. We are not worried. Seattle is not a threat. We are 3 games in on a 17-game season. Have the same show again in week 6 or 7. I'm with you on that because remember, we talked about it yesterday. I think these next 5 games, 3-2 at worst for this Niners team. That's what's acceptable at worst. Jay asked me yesterday, when do we start really getting concerned? I said October 27th. That's in 5 weeks. That's when I'll really start. All right, they still got plenty of time, but if they go 2-3 over these next 5 games, you're talking your record 3-5 at that point. That's not good. That's not good.
A lot of how far they get is going to be determined by Christian McCaffrey. Bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Drape's personal physician, Dr. Jesse Moore.
Yeah.
Dr. Jesse Morse, pardon me. He's a sports doctor, orthopedic guy, and he's on Twitter talking a lot about injuries. So we'll see what he thinks of where Christian McCaffrey is. That is coming up. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I'll tell you this. I remember saying this years ago when they made the trade for Trey Lance. I remember saying, and this ended up being wrong, I said, if this trade doesn't work out, Kyle Shanahan, he may be a coach again, but he's never going to be running a team again. If this blows up in his face, well,
Brock saved him.
Things were
Brock saved him.
He did.
Brock saved him. Yes.
Yeah. How about Boomer on Sactown Sports? Is this Boomer Esiason? What's up, Boomer?
No, not Boomer Esiason, just Boomer.
My mistake. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Hey, Drape, Whitey, Jay Diz. Hey, I think you guys are taking something into consideration. The Niners have been to 2 Super Bowl. Let me preface this by saying I'm a Raider fan. I'm not a hater. I'm a Raider fan. Anyways, Niners have been to Super Bowl appearances. How many extra games have they had? I think that has to do a lot with their injuries right now, and nobody's talking about that. So that's just the point I want to make, and you tell me what you think about that.
I think it's a great point, Boomer. Thanks. And I think Jay actually made that point last week.
Did Jay made it? That they're going deep into the playoffs.
They're playing a lot of extra games every year.
Pretty close to like the foundational pieces are getting close to an extra season. And I know it's not basketball, not the Warriors. And that's kind of what I had likened it to. The metaphor was, the Warriors played so many postseason games and they put a lot of miles on the body. And I think the 49ers are getting that way, especially when, and I don't know who made this point, fellas, Shanahan's not the type of person to go deep into the depth chart. He's not that type of guy. And I think that's part of the frustration is, oh, man, you ran, CMC opportunities when, you didn't have to last year. We've seen it. Debo's kind of been running to the ground in certain instances. And so I think that's something to worry about. It is.
By the way, we were talking about Bengal fans, how bleak it is for Bengal fans. From the 209, as a Bengal fan, not worried technically, really only 1 game out of the division. Pittsburgh's not going to hold what they're doing. They're not that good of a team as a record would indicate.
So, nobody's worried.
Yeah. Even Cincinnati at 0-3.
Nobody's worried right now.
Nobody's worried in the NFL right now.
Dallas ain't worried.
They're not worried, I guess.
Damn.
Jacksonville's worried.
My Eagles are 2-1, and I'm worried.
They're done.
Come on, I'm not going to play that game right now. I'm not playing that game. I'm legitimately worried.
Jacksonville is done. Even when their coach is time for speeches is over. People are talking about they need a new quarterback. They need a new coach. Belichick needs to take over as head coach. But there is time for him to turn around. Right now, it's very bleak for Jacksonville and for a few other teams. Tennessee, there's time for him to turn around.
Yeah, definitely time. I mean, only 3 games in, no doubt about it. And here's the thing. If you're Jacksonville, Do you think you're good enough to make the playoffs? What were they last year? 9-8 or 8-9, something like that last year. So they've shown they could be a 500 team. Like a couple more losses and this season is over for them. And so maybe they make a move sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree with Justin here on the text line. It's the damn defense. Stop talking about the offense. It's the defense that's not holding the leads. End of story. 49er defense, which I thought was going to be better this year, which I thought would be their key to improvement this year, has been bad.
Yeah, and
part of that is just players playing badly.
Yeah, players aren't living up to their billing. I mean, and now you got the Hargrave injury. Dre Greenlaw's still not back. I don't, and I know we talked earlier about making some changes out there, but I don't see any reinforcements coming in. You said, last segment or 2 segments ago, you think they'll do something. They probably need to do something, right?
They need DJ Jones, right?
Yeah, and D. Winters.
Yeah.
D. Winters was going to D. Winters was going to be their starter next to Fred Warner, and then he got banged up. We didn't know he was going to be out 3 weeks.
DJ Jones is in his last year of his deal. He's with the Broncos. They're not going anywhere. Trade for DJ Jones.
Yeah. But the other part with that too is when he was here, guess what he was? Hurt quite a bit.
Let's talk to Matt on Sactown Sports. Hello, Matt. What's up?
Hey, Mac. I love your show. I'm a daily listener.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, we didn't win a Super Bowl, and we're losing this season because of the coaching decisions.
Yeah.
Whether it's defense or head coaching or time management, the fan base is getting tired of these 10-point leads getting blown. And this is the last thing I gotta say. Kyle tried to recruit Bill Belichick. I think it's time for him to be.
Oh,
he cut out.
Sorry, Matt.
We
lost
right there.
you.
Yeah.
You cut out on us right at the last minute.
Was he gonna say it's time for Bill Belichick to take over the Niners?
No, I think maybe as a coordinator, he was saying maybe.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing you have to remember is if they were to get rid of Shanahan, it's not just, you get rid of the coach, bring in a new coach, because he runs everything.
Yeah.
Lynch is under Shanahan. So I'm not saying you can't get rid of him, but if you do, you're getting rid of everything. You're like starting over almost. So is that really what you want to do? I don't think so right now. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Whitey, you brought it up. You said Shanahan oversees everything. To Jay's point. Oversees the nutrition, the training. Like, that's what a head coach is. It's not just X's and O's. Like, he has to take some responsibility for some of the other things as well.
Speaking of injuries, what's up with CMC? Sports injury doctor Jesse A. Morse is going to tell us what we know, what we think we know, and how realistic it is to think CMC could be back. Dr. Morse joins us next. The Sports Doctor next on Sactown Sports.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Chad, what's happening for Jeep Adventure Days?
Right now, save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs, starting as low as $28,715. These are some of the most fun cars you'll ever drive, and there's just a handful left, so don't wait and miss your chance.
Any other big deals?
Save money and gas when you save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs, which get up to 56 MPGE.
Don't miss this savings. See their full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period.
12,000 total net savings after 3420 factory rebates and 8580 dealer discount. Rebates may include 500 trade-in assistance. Must have qualifying trade-in. 17,000 total net savings after 4250 factory rebates and 12,750 dealer discount. Rebates include 3750 federal EV tax credit offered by third party, subject to change without notice. Consult a tax professional for eligibility. 5H net savings. See dealer for details.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dierks Bentley, Harmony, Plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corbell, California Champaign.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. With the kids back in school, now is the perfect time to go buy a new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. I have one and I love it. And I'm not the only one in my family that loves it. My 12-year-old daughter loves it. In fact, just the other day when I was about to drop her off to school, she said, "Dad, are we taking the nice car out?" And I said, "Yeah, honey, we're taking the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV." She was so excited to ride in it, and she was so excited to show it off to her friends. She loves the fact that it has seat cooling, seat massaging, and oh yeah, extra room in the back seat for all of her friends. If you don't believe me, just see for yourself. Go test drive one now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You'll see how the car drives, the comfort it has, and the speed it has on the open road. Just head on down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online anytime at mbofstockton.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Green Day, not real big John Fisher fans. It's Drive Guys talking about the 49ers, where they go from here, and a lot of that hinges on what happens with Christian McCaffrey. How do we know what's going on with Christian McCaffrey? Well, we can't be sure. Because have you examined them yet, Drapes? I have not had a chance to examine
I haven't examined the X-rays or the MRIs or anything like that.
And I don't think our next guest has either. However, he's an expert when it comes to sports injuries. Nice enough to join us. Sports medicine physician covering NFL injuries for @InjuryExperts. Follow him on Twitter @Dr. Jesse Morse. It's Dr. Jesse Morse. Doctor, first things first here. I don't know if you're also covering gardening injuries, but I got a little thing in my left calf when I mow the lawn. What's your prognosis?
Unfortunately, that's probably a little calf strain, but it's a little different than McCaffrey's.
I tell you what, Doc, I don't need a PhD. That's just old and out of shape. That's all that is. That's all. It ain't no cat. He's just old and out of shape. That's all.
That may be it too. Yeah. I don't know if the diagnosis code's covered for that though.
Right.
Okay. You all kidding aside, I apologize. You tweeted something very interesting this week about Christian McCaffrey. What is your best educated guess as to why he would go to Germany for treatment of an Achilles injury?
Yeah, so to give people a background, I specialize in stem cells. I am sports medicine and family medicine boarded, and I have my fair share of NFL athletes and other pro athletes. My primary clinic is in Miami. And, I speak at stem cell courses and conferences, so I understand the complications and different parts of the stem cell and regenerative medicine world.
there are certain things that are old school and really done well in Germany. There was an old technique or modified version of what we call PRP called Regenikine, which, rest in peace, Kobe did about 10 to 15 years ago. He's been there about 4 or 5 times from what we know. And my suspicion is he's probably going there. McCaffrey's probably going there, not for Oktoberfest, which is interesting timing, but likely to get his Achilles evaluated. He's had the calf. He's had 3 calf injuries over the past year and a half, 2 years. They're probably the same one. We don't know, but my suspicion is they're probably the same. But I'm not overly worried about the calf per se.
Sure.
It's the Achilles tendon that really is a problem. The tendon has to be under tension. It is responsible for explosiveness. It translates that energy from the calf to the foot. And without it, without it be acting properly, you really can't do a whole lot as a running back. We've seen a couple guys come back and be semi-okay after rupture, but rupture is a big deal. So traditionally, we're trying to prevent that. And they really didn't talk about this until like the last day or two before, end of camp finished, which is kind of threw a lot of people in the betting and fantasy world off. But long story short, I mean, we have all the imaging here. There's really not a whole lot of new imaging that can do, to my knowledge, there. So this is likely, yes, an evaluation, but also a treatment. He's going there to get treated. You can get Regenikine here in America. I know there's a place in Oakland that can get it, or from what pros have told me, Oakland. And then there's a place, I think, in New York that has a bunch of it. So with that being said, they are the original people that do Regenikine. The guy who kind of invented it is there. There's a bunch of different types of stem cells that you can also potentially do there, that some of them are available in America. So that may be part of it as well. We really don't know per se, but if I were to guess, it's probably a combination of those two.
And so all that, whether it's stem cells or PRP, if it were one of those, that's basically to promote healing, right?
Correct. Yeah. So the Achilles tendon has a very poor blood supply in a specific area, what we call a watershed area. It's about 2 thumb widths up from the heel, like where it attaches at the heel. And traditionally that's where it gets thick, and traditionally that's where it tears. There's a blood supply that comes up, there's a blood supply that comes down, and then there's a gap that just doesn't get blood supply. And unfortunately, that's where it tears because it doesn't heal. Now, chronically, when we use our tendon every day, over the years, it starts to get weaker, not completely surprising. The tendon becomes or develops what we call tendinopathy. And that basically means it's disorganized. It's no longer as strong and as flexible as it used to be. It's kind of like tires on a car. They only last for so long. There's certain things that make these riskier, antibiotics, certain types of oral steroids can do that. But additionally, obviously high volume, I personally think turf plays a role as well. But when you add the chronic tendinopathy, which is kind of disorganized chaos of that tendon, in addition to acute tendinitis, which is the inflammation of that tendon, he's really at risk for rupture. And that's probably what he was concerned about. And he's probably thinking, it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks, and I haven't really made a whole lot of progress, which isn't surprising. And that's why he's like, I have to do something and do something dramatic. So that, in my opinion, that's likely what he did. And I'd love to know more about exactly what he's doing. I don't know if we'll ever get any, but I guess it's fun to speculate.
Hey, Dr. Jesse Morris joining us. Doctor, when you look at the nature of the injury, the fact that, it's been a couple of months now, rest hasn't really done the trick. Where should the level of concern, I guess, be? Or is this something that you get this procedure or whatever, and then 3 to 4 weeks you're back in? Or is this something, a long-term issue, you think?
In my opinion, this is a long-term issue. I treat Achilles, I wouldn't say weekly, but semi-regularly. And part of it is you have to realize the expectations for him. You want him to get 15, 20, 25 touches a game, pretty much every game. He led the league in touches last year, including playoffs, with 417. That's a lot of touches. Last 2 years ago, he didn't quite have that many. In his crazy year in 2019, he had like 450 or somewhere around there. And then he broke down in 2020, and then he broke down again in 2021. So, he's towards the end of his career. Now even when he does come back, whenever that is, if he does, but I think he does, but I'm still not completely confirmed about that. I think it's going to be a split. I think what they have in Mason, they have to realize, like, how do you take him off the field, at least to give CMC a breather and to be smart about his injuries? If you're trying to win another Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, you don't do it in week 10 or 11 or 12, right? You got to save your stars when you have them. Remember, McCaffrey missed week 18 last year with a calf injury. So it's not like, oh, he was healthy all year. I mean, the guy plays through injuries all the time. And then the other part of it is this tendon will never be like when he was 15. I tell my patients that all the time. Like, we don't need it to be, but you're asking a tendon to heal up to the point where you can torture the hell out of it every 7 days. Like, that's hard to do. And he's not exactly a spring chicken anymore. It's not like he's 21, 22. That tendon doesn't, we don't heal, quote unquote, as well as at 30 that we do at 20. It's stupid as it sounds. As much as, and I know people who know him and supposedly who have injected him. I haven't personally evaluated him, and he's very good and takes care of his body. But unfortunately, there's certain things, PRP included, and bone marrow and adipose, the quote unquote stem cells that we can get from us, that create a lot of inflammation. That's how they work. In order to create the inflammation to start the healing cascade, that takes time. So, you have other products, something called exosomes. We have amniotic tissue, which is basically amniotic sac. There's umbilical stuff. There's a bunch of different options. Those are non-inflammatory. So when they go in, they don't create chaos. So someone can have that on a Tuesday and play on a Sunday. I've seen it. But when you're dealing with an injury this severe, it's going to take about a month to 6 weeks after injection to really kind of get them to where you want to be. And then you don't want to have to shut him down again. So when he goes back, you want to be able to go back and run with it. So you can't be like, oh, we'll go for a week and then take off a week. Like, no.
Doesn't work.
So when he goes, he needs to go. So I think that's part of it too. And they got lucky that Mason is like looking incredible. But they're banged up right now. Debo's banged up. He's probably going to miss this week. Kittle might come back this week. Purdy got lucky with his back. He'll play. He's just who he is, but that might affect him in some capacity. But I have concerns about McCaffrey, not only when he comes back, but if he comes back.
Yeah. Dr. Jesse Morris, MD. Follow him on Twitter at Dr. Jesse Morris. He could use the followers. He's only got 99,000 followers on Twitter, Draves. Hey, can I just ask you one quick one, circling back to something you just mentioned? And I know this is hard because you have not examined him, so I know I'm asking you to go beyond the evidence. But based on what we know, do you think it's still reasonable, in your opinion, to think that McCaffrey could be back at or near full strength before the end of this season? Is it reasonable to think he might?
Yeah, I think it's realistic.
Okay.
I think. I mean, my biggest concern with him is he has what we call a big, if he does, a big interstitial tear, which is basically, you think of you looking at a rope, which is as the Achilles, look at a rope, and then you look at the middle of it, and there's a big tear in the middle of that rope. And then the rest of the rope fibers are beat up and frayed. So you're asking a beat up, partially torn rope to do the work of a 100% healthy rope. That's, if you want to visualize it, that's kind of what we're, in my opinion, what we're looking at. So, and then the question is, there's not a whole lot, there's no braces, there's nothing that you can do to tape it. There's nothing you can do to tape it and prove it. So you have to do something, and you can't do steroids because that's just going to increase the risk for rupture. So they have to kind of get the swelling, inflammation down, and to the point where he can ramp up and be like, yeah, I'm good. The calf is what it is, and in my opinion, it's not a huge deal. But I think he has a chance to come back. I just don't know when, and I don't know how they're going to approach. He's going to want to go ham, but that is probably not also the right thing to do.
Doctor, thank you so much for your time. We know that you're very busy. We appreciate it. Thanks for your insight. We hope to talk to you again soon.
My pleasure. Take care, guys.
All right, no.
You too. So, Jay was over there shaking his head. I'll tell you that.
I know.
Again, and you made the point yesterday, very fairly and accurately. This is someone, by his own admission, he has not examined Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
He's never looked at
Right.
him. So,
he's just basing it off of other stuff he's seen.
It's
averaging numbers.
Yeah. Very, very educated guesses, extremely educated guesses, but guesses nonetheless. When we come back, want to talk a little basketball?
Yeah, you got something for me?
Yeah.
All right.
You hear about the NBA player who says Domas is one of the 5 best passing centers ever?
Ooh.
I
did not hear about that
That's
one.
next on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Temperatures will spring back to summer-like levels on Thursday. We'll start in the upper 50s, but with light winds, afternoon highs will be around 90 degrees again. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Team Sactown Sports.
Get into a little Kings conversation here because I don't know. I think we've hit a point with the 49er conversation after talking to Dr. Morse where maybe we just let that percolate a little. Because that could be, Jay took that as rather discouraging. You know, you could interpret that a number of ways. Like, oh, he said he could be back this year, but he didn't sound like he thought it was very likely.
Yeah,
you know?
it wasn't encouraging. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is encouraging if you're a fan of the Sacramento Kings. Isaiah Hartenstein was asked. Well, I don't even know if he was asked. He said, let's go top 5 passing bigs of all time.
All
He's the
time.
top 5 big in the game.
Yeah. Do you have any interest? Do you care at all who Isaiah Hartenstein says are the 5 best passing centers of all time?
Not really, but I'll listen.
Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
He's definitely on his own.
All right.
Sabonis, the dad Sabonis.
All right, yeah.
The funny thing with his dad is that he came over so late, but if he would have come over earlier, how's Isaiah Hartenstein? He's right, but how does he know that?
Right.
He's not that old.
He wasn't even born.
He says he could pass the something out of the ball.
Oh.
Andrew Bogut, when he was with Golden State Warriors, was good. Then Isaiah Hartenstein says, Draymond Green, you got to put in there. I'm just going to put Domantas Sabonis in there. I watch him a lot, too. I think I'm missing somebody, but that was Isaiah Hartenstein. 5 best passing centers. Jokic, Arvydas Sabonis, Andrew Bogut, Draymond Green, and Domantas Sabonis. What do you think, Drapes? You're a student of the game. Is this proof that too many people have podcasts?
Yeah. It's like, oh, my gosh. I mean, where do we begin with this? Where do we begin?
It's not all wrong.
It's not all wrong. I mean, if you want to have Arvydas and Jokic, I get that. Is Draymond a center?
Draymond Green does not belong.
Right, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't think he's.
I guess he does play some center.
But when Bogut was there, Bogut was the center, right? How could right? And so, and then no Bill Walton. See, I don't know if he's a student of the game, if you will. Talking
He's
about
not that old, right?
Who?
I mean, he's Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, but it's like if it didn't
all time, how do you even know?
If it
Isaiah
didn't happen,
Hartenstein?
if it didn't happen before Jordan, it didn't happen. It seems like. No, that's a good list, and our boy Domantas is on there. I would say he's probably the 2nd best passing center in the league right now, behind Jokic. The thing about Domas too is, it seems like Mike Brown and the coaching staff, they've unlocked his full potential. And I know he was great in Indiana. I know he was an all-star there, but it seems like his game has taken to a higher level now. Like, we're really maximizing who Domantas Sabonis is. And so, no, I'm I'm okay with Domas being on that list. No C-Web. Does C-Web or Vlade? Can you interchange
Vlade's
those?
the one that needed to be on there. Vlade was the one that when I first read, I said, no, you made a mistake there.
Yeah.
I think Vlade was, in my opinion, a better passer than Domas. And I don't know if the numbers, assist numbers say that, but I don't care if they do or not.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Domas at all. Vlade was a great passer.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. He was a great passer. C-Web, a great passer as well. And the thing about it, that their vision was great for a big man. It wasn't just the dribble handoffs. It was, they were, creators as well. And so I'm not going to argue. Draymond probably shouldn't be on that list. Who else was on that list? Who else? Who else am I taking on?
It was Bogut, and then Domas, and then Arvydas Sabonis, Jokic, and the other one
is Bogut. You okay with Bogut on that list? We're in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, Bogut was a really good passer. They used to run their offense through him.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he left off a couple of guys. So Vlade, Bill Walton, I still maintain was a hell of a passer.
He was, I guess, a point guard, and then he in high school.
Is that what it was?
And then he sprouted up, so he started playing center. But he still, he had one of the best outlet passes I've ever seen.
Late great Bill Walton. Throw Wes Unseld on that list too in terms of outlet passing.
Yeah.
He was great as well. And so here's the question, though. Like, so which podcast does he have his own?
Isaiah Hartenstein on YouTube, and I don't know.
Yeah, too many people got podcasts right now, right? It's like Isaiah Hartenstein got a podcast, and maybe
he was a guest on one.
He might have been a guest. He might have been a guest on one. But Domas, I think his passing has caught a lot of people by surprise. He's a good rebounder. Can score the ball. but his facilitating, like you're really running your offense through him. I think that surprised a lot of people when he came here.
Now, the Lakers had their media day today.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I wanted to ask you what you thought of. I don't know if we have this sound, and if we don't, that's on me. But Coach Redick was asked about when are Bronny and LeBron going to play together. And first of all, I'm thinking, really, that's a question for Laker Media Day? You know what I mean? With all the things they have to deal with, you got a new coach, you got LeBron approaching the end of his career, and you're, when are LeBron and Bronny going to play together? Do we even care about that? We're going to hear the answer in just a second here, but that's not a good question, is it? And they answered it like they were in the presidential debate and somebody asked about the economy.
Right. But I do think it's a good question because of the response they got. I got an issue with the way J.J. Redick responded to that.
Do as well.
You know that, and so therefore he gave us some content. Like that's probably not at the top of my list. When are they going to play together? Have you even, they haven't even had a practice yet or anything like that.
Right. I'm with you. That's how I would answer. It's like, you know what? Well, I got a lot of things to worry about. I'm not really worried about that right now.
Yeah.
We'll see how that sorts out depending on how he plays. But here was Coach Redick's answer to that question today.
It's going to be history. You'll be the first time coaching a team that has a father and son duo on the roster. What can you tell us about the plan for that moment that, it will be history the moment that they play in a preseason game together and a practice.
All right, that's a bad question.
Season game.
You're right.
It's kind of the moment everyone's anticipating. How are you and your coaching staff going about preparing for that moment?
Yeah, we don't have anything planned per se in terms of a commitment to do it this way. We obviously have talked about it as a staff, and we've gotten it into some specifics of what that might look like, but we haven't committed to anything. And obviously there's a discussion to be had once we're all together with Bronny and LeBron too. They should be a part of that discussion as well.
There's no discussion. It's like, we'll see how they play. You know what? I've got a lot of things worried about. That's not one of them. Thanks for your question. Well, we've talked about it as a staff.
Right.
And they got to be in on the decision too.
No, they don't. They're treating this differently than it should be. This is two players, right? Don't show you just treat it. I would have been like,
thank you.
They might not even play together. I haven't even thought about the rotation yet or anything like that. Yeah.
But he's got to realize who got him this job.
Right. The fact that they've already talked about what that would look like.
Staff. Hey, guys, we've got to have a meeting here. Bronny and LeBron, what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
What do you think? When are we going to do that?
Which date? November 12th or third quarter? How are we going?
Coach, we can't talk about it. They got to be in on the discussion. We shouldn't talk about it.
It's an album rollout or something like that. You know what I mean? Where they got to map out how they're going to, a movie premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
How are we going to release this? How are we going to get this out of there? And then the fact that you got to consult LeBron and Bronny about it. Come on, man. Come on. They don't need to be a part of this. You're the coach. You tell them when they're playing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's a joke already. 49er problem that can clearly be traced to Kyle Shanahan. We'll hear some of Shanny's comments today, too, as he addressed the media when we come back to Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, Go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Even in a broken Washington, one person delivers results. Our Congressman Kevin Kiley. Working across party lines, Kevin Kiley has helped pass bipartisan bills to lower prices for gas, groceries, and utilities, provide tax relief for the victims of recent wildfires and storms, and to protect Lake Tahoe today and for future generations. Kiley has secured millions of federal dollars to ease traffic on our roads, expand our water supply, and protect our homes and communities from wildfires. And because he believes public safety comes first, Kevin Kiley is working to crack down on repeat offenders, retail thieves, and fentanyl dealers who prey on our youth. Kevin Kiley is always ready to work across party lines to get things done, and never afraid to take on the establishment in Washington or Sacramento when that's what's needed to protect our quality of life. Delivering results. That's Kevin Kiley. Let's keep him working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley, and I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Ram Power Days?
Well, 2024 is almost over, so we figured we'd get a head start with big savings on brand new 2025 Ram 1500s. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on the brand new and very nicely updated 2025 Ram 1500s, starting as low as $37,780.
I want to make sure I heard you right. You said 2025, as in next year's models, and you're already giving $15,000 off?
You heard that right. Plus, with all the upgrades Ram has made on the 1500s, this is the best Ram yet.
Test drive the best Ram truck yet at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See our whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 total net savings after 10,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 in Hoblet Select inventory coupons and 2,000 Hoblet Trade-in Assistant coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports, 1140. It's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Kyle Shanahan under fire, at least from a lot of 49er fans listening to this station. And then there are some fans like Will who says there's nothing to worry about. It's a Drive Guys. We'll get back to that in just a moment, but I want to circle back to Isaiah Hartenstein talking about the 5 best passing centers in NBA history. He was on the Your Perspectives podcast on YouTube, Perspectives. He was a guest, and that is hosted by I can't figure. I'm looking. I can't find who hosts. But anyway, Isaiah Hartenstein apparently does not have his own podcast. He was a guest on Your Perspectives.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which looks at sports and life and business, I think. So anyway, you might want to check that out. But there's a lot of people that were upset by that, even in that brief look we took at that list.
Yeah,
I
mean,
where's Vlade?
Where's
Walton?
Yeah,
where's Elijah one?
Left some big names off of that list. And, we're happy our boy Domas is on there, though. I ain't going to hate him for that.
Mm-hmm. You looking forward to, what is it called on Netflix, Starting Five?
Yeah, Starting Five, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, looking forward to that. Got to dive into that. Domas having a press availability on Friday, too, to discuss that. So looking forward to chopping it up with him. But, I mean, you got 5 great players being spotlighted. And what's interesting about it, too, is Domas is probably the most introverted one. Like, he's not a guy that's out there like that. So I'm interested to see, what he's like behind the scenes, how he interacts with his family and everything.
And, of course, Media Day, Monday. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Now, as for the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media today. Here's a question for you, Jay, from Curtis Hicks in the Chateau. JJ, I know you ain't running from the smoke, but there's a lot of quiet 49er fans out there right now. Can you speak to this, or do you think the fan base is just over it at this point?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination plate of all of it, Curtis. I think it is frustration built in of being so close and not being able to grasp the championship. And then at the same time, one of the things that we talk about on this show quite a bit, you guys do a great job, is, we've had so many different writers and analysts and former players and guys who watch the game who've come on here and like, yeah, the 49ers hands down as the best roster. And when you start to stumble and come out the gate as to go to racetrack, when you come out the gate and the favorite is at the back of the pack, what do you normally do if you're laying some money down on that horse? You kind of start to think about, well, I hope this horse can run a better quarter horse at the end, right? And come around at the end. And so, as the great saying says, down the stretch they come. I think that's where you're going to have some 49ers like Will, who's like, Drapes, we're not panic. And then you're going to have some 49ers who are frustrated. And then I'm pretty sure there are some 49ers who are ready to throw in the towel and burn their colors, as I've seen on social networks. So I just think it's a combination of all the things right now, Curtis.
Yeah. So right now, if it's a horse race, the 49ers are off to a bad start.
Yeah.
Maybe limping a little bit. I don't think they're quite pinned on the rail yet. But, it's like.
And the jockey's still in the horse.
Right.
Yeah,
they still got a chance. Yeah.
No doubt. Time for Shannon to get that writing crop out here. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan talking with the media today. Here's one from the great Matt Mayoko. Now, we've talked a lot about the play that Brock Purdy missed, where Ayuk saw that the defense, there was a blown coverage, so he broke off his route and he ran a seam route. Brock Purdy didn't see him. And Kyle Shanahan had explained this week that, things fell apart for them, and it was a matter of the receiver doing the right thing and the quarterback not picking it up. So Matt Mayoko asked Kyle Shanahan about contingencies. Do you prepare players for every possible scenario in case the defense doesn't do what you expect them to do?
You described in great detail Monday about that busted coverage. Is there enough time in the day for you and the offense to go through all the scenarios on any given play, not only what their defense, what to do against a particular defense, but what to do if there is a bust and how they bust it?
That makes no sense. I'm sorry. You don't go through when people mess up what to do. That's off schedule is what people call it. And when it happens, you hope people see it. But you don't sit there and make up stuff all week and go through it. Hey, if I make this up, I want to prepare you for what you need to make up at the time. So that would be something that no one would ever would do. But
you did mention that I did the right thing.
Yeah.
You have general rules in place for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, when no one's there, like just if they had 10 people on the field and no one lined up over the receiver, we don't want him to just sit there and run a slant. I hope he puts his hand up and runs a go route so he walks into the end zone, and I hope the quarterback's looking that way and sees it. and be the same thing. When a corner's supposed to play deep half and he sits at the line of scrimmage and they have two people and you're going to run your route and no one's there, you look up and do the same thing. But that's something that happens in football a lot, happens throughout the games. And that was a big one because it happened at the end. But we just didn't fall into it the right way.
Yeah, I still don't know exactly what went wrong on that play. Brock not
right.
Up,
Brock
but,
not seeing that.
I like his answer to that. And he knows Matt Mayoka well, and he's not making fun of Matt Mayoka, but that makes no sense.
We don't practice their mistakes,
theoreticals.
Like, right?
What if they did this wrong?
Right. Yeah. But you do, in practice, you ideally take advantage of that, right?
Yes.
Like if your team in practice makes a mistake, Ayuk knows to go. And so it really didn't explain, exactly what happened on that play like you're talking about. But, it's not something you just practice, if you will. All right, if he goes here, it's like you don't do that, right?
Yeah, so Kyle Shanahan also asked today, what do the 49ers do now without Javon Hargrave, who is injured?
It makes it tougher. I mean, when you have 4 inside guys up, on your roster, and then you go down to 3, it always makes it tougher to stop the run. But we got guys on practice squad that we need. We'll see how that works out as this week goes. And you got to think of other fronts too and stuff that we got to do at times. So a lot of stuff plays into that. And, Javon, whether it's run game or pass game, it makes it harder.
It's just so unfortunate they spent so much money on him 2 years ago. And
yeah.
Obviously, that's one of we don't think of him as one of the, stars, but he's supposed to be one of their defensive stars. Yeah. And he's gone.
Yeah, was he making upwards of 20, I think, something like that. And, he was a big signing, no doubt about it.
And they weren't stopping the run very well with him. And now it's like,
and he just hasn't panned out. He has not panned out, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
you never want to sign anybody from, certain teams. When they lose a guy, you just don't go near him.
Right? Well, because we know the team gave up on him. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why the Eagles let him walk.
Yeah.
Hey, bagel.
Oh, man.
This was an interesting topic that came up, with Coach Staley now, who used to be the defensive coordinator for the Rams, and he was a coach of the Chargers. That didn't go well, but he was a brilliant defensive coordinator. So he's now a defensive, consultant?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what his title is, but he's not the coordinator. Nick Sorensen is. So Kyle Shanahan was asked today whether Coach Staley's role will evolve now that the defense is struggling.
Brandon Staley's role been in these first few games, and could you see this evolving as the season goes?
Evolving in what? His?
Doing more things, doing different things?
No, he does. He works like all the other coaches do, and he's the same as all the other coaches. He's not here to do anything extra than that.
So you don't want any part of that?
No, you don't want to.
In other words, is Staley going to be the new defensive coordinator? Right? That's the question.
There's a problem with that, Whitey. Here we are 2 years in a row now. Very early also. Remember Steve Wilkes very early last year. Oh, got to move down from the booth. You know what I mean? Kyle wanted to be a little more hands-on. And it's only 3 weeks in. And now it's like, and if you think about it too, if you're Sorensen and Staley's there, are you looking over your shoulder at all as well? What's the pressure like on Sorensen to get this right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something, that needs to be discussed because, we've talked all off season, all going into training camp. This team is good enough. The roster is good enough. And I understand the Hargrave injury, Greenlaw, I understand that. But guys aren't performing to their level. Who's that on? You can't fire the players, right? You're not going to fire the players. It got to be the coaching. So if I'm Sorensen, maybe you're feeling a little heat right now,
Yeah. Here's the biggest concern with Kyle Shanahan. We've got it for you when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
I got my together. I got my together.
I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC. I got my shots together. Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both.
Are you getting your together?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Drapes, you got an update for us on the WNBA playoffs?
Yeah, watching the Indiana Fever going up against the Connecticut Sun right now.
Must-win scenario for the Fever.
Yeah, Sun up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. Fever started off great. Connecticut went on an 11-0 run to take the lead. Caitlin Clark, I think 10 points now. 6-point ball game. Connecticut 26. Indiana 25-51 left to go in the second.
Thank you for that update.
Yep.
How's your girl doing?
Good. Much better than the other night. You know, she struggled from the field. I think she was like 3 of 17 or something like that from the field.
Is she wearing an eye patch or anything?
Yeah, a little eye black under there or something like that. So far tonight, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. The field goal percentage, not good, 40%, 4 of 10. But, much better showing for her, though.
Did you think the blow to the eye was intentional?
I didn't even see it, to be honest.
Oh,
I still haven't even seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen the reaction.
I thought so. I don't know any of the other than her. You know, I don't know anybody's personality or anything. It's just like, whoa, that was intentional. That was what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I've seen the reaction, Caitlin addressing it, DeJounte, talking about it also, but I didn't see the play.
The WNBA can ill afford to have her knocked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, she's the cash cow. She's the big money. I mean, think about it right now. They're on the big channel, ESPN, right now, and it's a doubleheader tonight. They got another game later tonight, but this
WNBA playoff doubleheader. That's incredible.
Think about it. It's going to be over 1 million once again watching this tonight.
We were just talking about Kyle Shanahan. We've talked a lot about the 49ers today. Here's my fear about Kyle Shanahan. One, a lot of people are upset about this or that with Kyle Shanahan. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He blows leads. People have talked about a lack of creativity offensively, which is interesting. To me, it's special teams, and we talked about this earlier. 49ers special teams under Kyle Shanahan have consistently been underwhelming. His philosophy, he's talked about it, is you just don't want special teams to lose the game for you. Matt Barrows made the point today in The Athletic. Right now, the offense isn't great. The defense isn't great. So you need more from your special teams. And instead, you're getting less. Special teams right now are losing games for you. So that's a problem. And it's always been an issue, in my opinion, in the opinion of many, under Kyle Shanahan. But my fear with Kyle Shanahan right now is, he is a control freak, of course. I think all coaches are to a degree, right?
Yep.
You kind of have to be. But he reminds me now, with everything going on with the defensive coordinators, as a guy in a band who wants to play all the instruments. It's like the drummer, he missed, he's offbeat. He's going too fast. I'm going to play drums too. And when you get like one person playing all the instruments, it might sound really good, but there's a level you can only reach when you have other people's contributions.
Right.
And I don't know now if you have Nick Sorensen as the coordinator and he's basically just, what's the game plan, Kyle? And I'll install it for you.
Yeah.
Just do it your way. That's different than having like a D'Amico Ryans. And I know they also had, they had to answer to Kyle Shanahan or Robert Saleh, but those were individual units, right? That clearly had the stamps of their coordinators on them.
Right.
And it's almost like Steve Wilkes, the defense last year was terrible. I'll just run that too.
Yeah.
And I think something's lost there. Your ceiling comes down as a team.
Yeah, and think about it too with Steve Wilkes last year. What was the narrative? He
wasn't in the booth, or he wasn't downstairs.
Right.
He was in the booth.
He didn't fit what Kyle wanted to do, the personnel and everything. And so, and that's on Kyle for making that hire. I don't know what Sorensen, his philosophy is or whatever. But, to your point, it's like, a head chef or you mentioned musician, not letting the people you hire do their job.
Yeah.
Basically, he's muddling too much.
He wants you to, you're a great piano player. Go ahead and play. No,
don't
play it the way I would play it.
Right. You in there making some lasagna and somebody's looking over your shoulder. No, not that. And so, I go back to, a couple of years ago when the Niners made it to the NFC Championship game. Their defense, without a doubt, number one in the NFL. They had an identity about them. Right now, even with all the names, and I understand some injuries and everything like that, I don't know who this, what's their hallmark? Is it pass rush?
It's supposed to be.
We haven't seen it, though, right?
Not much.
Not much.
A little bit here.
Three.
Linebacking has been not great other than Fred Warner.
Right. And secondary hasn't been good, the back four. Getting beat on the long ball. And so they just don't have an identity defensively right now. And Fred Warner's trying to do his best. He's trying to, but where's Bosa at? Bosa got to wreak some havoc out there. Where's Malik Collins? Where's other guys really trying to wreak havoc and play with an edge? We're not seeing that from this 49ers defense right
Sometimes
now.
I think Kyle Shanahan, the coach, gets blamed for missteps by the person who puts the roster together. Unfortunately, that's also Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
He's not the GM, I know, and he doesn't do it all himself. But when he runs a whole show, right now, my point is, as you just said, some of the players that they have plugged into the defense, they're not playing well.
Yeah.
And when you're just playing badly and you're not covering receivers, your schemes are not going to matter as much.
What do you think?
There's time, right, Jay? There's time.
No, but let me ask you, Jay. Because we saw Chase Young last year. Supposed to be all world, coming out of college like this guy. He comes over here, not much of a factor. Floyd this year, I thought he played well game one. But what do you have? 10 sacks, I think it was last year, something like that. Where's that this year? What's
well.
What's happening? Right. When guys come, Hargrave, great in Philly, comes here. What happened? Mm-hmm. What's going on? What's the disconnect right there? What's happening?
The first thing I think of when you mention Chase Young is last year was it the Packer game, or there was one playoff game where you could see he's not playing hard,
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about, the culture. When you bring in people and they don't play at the same level or with the same intensity that your group has been playing with, something's lost and you start to backslide a little bit.
Yeah.
But you have, when you're the guys you have, they wear out or they're too expensive. You have to start plugging holes, and it just gets trickier and trickier to make sure, okay, all the new guys were on the same page. Then you add the holdouts. And again, it's are we all on the same page here? And then you get off to this bad start.
I got to ask a question, fellas, because, we're talking about this and it just popped into my head. When's the last time the Niners added a defensive front seven, I'll call it? No, not even. How about front four? Because we're talking about that mostly right now. Added somebody and they exceeded expectations.
You mean like in a trade?
Trade, draft, whatever.
Front seven? Because I actually go back to Richard Sherman, and he that was a while ago.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it
back to Fred Dean when Bill Walsh was the coach?
But all the money they've spent on the front four, and to the point I made, Randy Gregory last year. Guys are just being shuttled in and out. Yeah. And there's no consistency there. Guys aren't performing. But it's not just this year, Whitey. It's last year also. What's the key difference? No D'Amico Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that loss is greater than, what's being talked about.
Who else I think of going back a ways is, Jay, you remember D Ford. That didn't quite, he wasn't
4 years
impactful.
ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who is because they had Ngakwe for a quick minute, it didn't work. Trying to think of who was the person.
They got
who they hit on.
Didn't they get a tackle from the Texans 3 years ago and they brought him in and he was great? Minihue?
Charles Minihue?
Yeah, he was really good for a bit, wasn't
great. He wasn't great, but
he was good.
He's cool. Yeah. He's cool. For me, this is a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the 49ers, and we're going back 5 years now. I think 5 years. 4 years. 4 or 5 years. When they gave up DeForest Buckner, I thought they made the worst decision they could have did on the front line. And, nothing against Aaron Armstead, but Forrest has been a better player now, albeit he's injured now and he's been injured here and there, but so has Armstead. But I thought that was kind of like the downfall of the front four, Drapes.
And you know why that didn't work is because the guy they thought who could replace Buckner, Javon Kinlaw, they drafted, just ended up being a guy.
And he's down. He's in New York, right?
Is he
just went to the Jets. Then we see him week 1. Yeah.
Robert Saleh said, I still like what he's got to offer.
I'll take him.
Yeah, I just, and I know they couldn't pay Armstead and Forrest the Buckner, but I just thought he was the better future player, the player that you could have, latched on down the road, and they made the decision, and it's panned out to make Super Bowl.
Themselves a little bit.
A little
this
bit.
Guy's really impactful, but we need 2 guys.
I know.
Draft a guy, and hey, 2's better than 1.
Yeah. Keep what you have. I'd rather know what I have than not know. 2 hands in the bush, 2 birds in the bush. What's the saying?
Bird in the hands,
bird in the hands, 2 in the bush. There you go.
Something like that. Something like that.
Close. There you go.
Stupid saying, but there it is. Yeah.
I'm going back. I'm looking at the just the depth chart from a couple of years ago.
What's a couple? 2
years ago. Yeah, when they went to the NFC Championship.
The Rams, or that? No, that'd be the Eagles. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
When that defense was lights out. That year defense. So you had Bosa, Armstead, Kinlaw, and how do you say Samson Ibuka, but Drake Jackson.
Ebukam.
That's who I was.
Yeah,
not
that's who you're talking
about.
Ebukam. What happened to those guys though?
Ebukam, he was the type of guy, kind of same thing, Whitey. Like he was brought here to be, Chase Young. He was brought here to be Randy Gregory, Leonard Floyd, and he just.
Armstead got hurt, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. He dealt with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And Bosa has not quite been the same since he held out. He hasn't been bad, but he just hasn't been dominant.
Wrecking ball.
Yeah. Do they
but that's another thing. Shanahan, he's probably going to add a defensive end because in his mind, it's like that's where you really have the biggest difference makers. But it's a great point you raise. They've been plugging guys in and they just really haven't made that much of a difference.
Yeah, and I'm looking at I'm looking squarely at Bosa, fellas, because and I understand he hasn't played up to what he was, but he's just been a guy the last year. 10.5 sacks. That's what Floyd was. You know what I mean? Like, this is the defensive player of the year a couple of years ago. This is a guy 18.5 sacks a couple of years ago.
I think he's been better than a guy, but he hasn't been close to the guy he used to be.
Yeah, but he's not all world anymore. Like, he's just not playing to that level.
I think you could probably also focus more your blocking on him now.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about the rest of the gang as much. The
team's keying on him a little more.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, you know how it goes, Drapes. When you become the guy, as you say, now we're drawing schemes around blocking you. And I think that's why you make a great point. The Samson Ebukams, the Leonard Floyds, the Randy Gregorys, the Chase Youngs, the guys that oppose him on the opposite side haven't really lived up to the standard to where, relieve some pressure. And now you have to move over towards him, player B, and give Bosa a little more one-on-one. But I also say this, fellas. That's what comes with schemes. Sometimes you have to scheme a guy, as they say, scheme a guy open. That same thing defensively. And I'm not saying, you put him as a defensive tackle, but maybe I am saying that. I don't know. I'm just saying you got to do something a little different when things aren't working to the best of the ability.
Clearly, defense was one of the weak points last year. The defense right now has gotten worse. If they can't fix that, forget the injuries to the offense.
Right.
If they can't, whether it's a matter of injecting more talent or figuring out better schemes or just the guys who are there playing better, putting new guys in the starting lineup or playing better, if they can't figure that out, they got a lot of time to figure it out. But if they can, if the defense isn't much better than it's been the last 2 weeks, that's not a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I keep going back to Bosa, and I understand you may say he's not just a guy, but as the highest paid defensive end in football, like, the great ones find a way.
Yes.
You can't tell me J.J. Watt wasn't getting schemed for, Jay, a couple of years ago. Come on, Bosa, you got to step up.
You're right.
He got to be a leader on there. He can't just be, a couple of tackles here and there. He got to make an impact, man.
Yeah, I think there are weeks where, you look around, you're like, man, what Bosa have a half a sack or he have a few pressures, 3 or 4 pressures, But I'm with you, Drapes. I think he hasn't been as impactful as he has been, and throughout his career, especially early on in his career. Yeah. The other thing, too, is, and I go back to the Huff situation. I go back to the Greenlaw, like the guys that they believe that are stars, that have proven to be stars, to be all pros. They just seem not to be here when you need them. Like Huff being gone last year, you can't tell me like T. Gibson played a heck of they found something in T. Gibson and they didn't re-sign him this year. The 2 years prior, where it was like a bargain in the basement thing. Like you got a full-on high caliber starting safety. Well, you can't do that now. Now you have to believe in Mustafa. Now you have to believe in Jair Brown, and Jair's played decent, but he hasn't played like T. Gibson. And that's where you begin to miss, Shavarius Ward, to whatever he is, hurt or, Huff has covered some of that for him over the last couple of years. And so when you don't have guys like that, it snowballs. It becomes a bigger problem.
When we come back, the most incredible thing about the A's walk-off win last night. It's next on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. Let's go! Grab your board. Grab your boots. Grab your tent. Live it up this fall with a low lease on the sporty 2024 Corolla, adventure-ready RAV4 Hybrid, rugged Tacoma, and even the new all-hybrid 2025 Camry.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. That's 9/30/24.
Who's ready for some fun on Saturday? Country in the Park 2 takes over Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Dirk Bentley,
What was I thinking?
Parmalee,
I love you just
Dasha,
did your boots stop?
plus line dancing and a mechanical bull, axe throwing, pop-up clothing stores, and food trucks. Tickets start as low as $52 at CITPfest.com. Grab your family and join us for Country in the Park 2 this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More at CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by A&A Concrete Supply, Folsom Hotel, and Corval, California Champagne.
She used to meet me all night inside.
Khalid, live in concert. See him performing at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the sensational Khalid for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. For more, visit KhalidOfficial.com.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
So we got 2 games left for the A's in Oakland. Last night, they started off their final home stand in Oakland with a 5-4 walk-off win over the Rangers. Since 1968, it's when the A's moved to Oakland. they've had 485 walk-offs. That's number 1 in baseball. How about that?
That's
I didn't
impressive.
know that.
Okay.
Do you know that,
right.
Jay? Oakland A's
No
since
clue.
68. Yeah.
Most
Since the
walk-offs.
A's moved there. Most walk-offs in Major League Baseball. Number
That's
1.
easy-o.
Yeah. They had 30,402 last night, and it was a kind of a tough watch. And we had it on here, didn't we? Maybe you heard it. And it's tough because Julie Kavner and the great Dallas Braden, they can't really talk about what's really going on, but they were addressing the history of the A's, and they were kind of talking about it. And, these were great times. These were great times. Yeah, and we got the game tonight, too. But the other side of it is, but it's so sad, and I understand they were not allowed to address that. But it's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, and the thing about it, too, is you got, what's her name, Julie? This is her first year.
Right.
So it's hard for her to,
of course,
put into context what's happening. But Dallas Braden, we know, and Oakland A is great, can wax poetic about it. I'm interested to see Thursday how they handle it, final game. If I'm NBC, I'm rolling out, special guest all throughout the game. Oakland A's greats. I mean, it's a day that, sure, it's not a celebration, no doubt about it. But you know how it is. It's like going to a funeral. And, it's not you're mourning the loss. You're celebrating the time you had, the life you had with that person. And we'll see if it's like that on Thursday.
And you're honoring that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Although it's not really honoring those times to take some seats out of the Coliseum, like I guess a couple guys did last night.
Yeah, did you see the Oakland Roots? They tweeted back at those guys. Hey, fam, we're playing at the Coliseum next year, and we would love to save you some seats for you all. Love and respect. Like, they're playing it. I'm watching the video now.
Yeah.
Those seats are a little rusty.
Well, it's really important to a lot of people because they're afraid of this narrative being pushed that, in Oakland, man, it's going to be chaos. We can't afford to let the players be on the field. Oh, did you see them? They're ripping seats out. And so a lot of people are saying this was an isolated incident. Please, everyone behave. But I don't know if it's going to matter if Bruce Bochy talked about, the Rangers have been told, don't go out on the field, get out of there. And I know the A's have been told, you just want to play it safe. And they're going to try to get people out of the ballpark as quickly as they can. And they're going to say it's for safety concerns, and it's just sad. It's just very sad that people can't linger, and say bye-bye to their team.
Would you like it to be more of a celebration Thursday?
It can't be.
What's the proper way then? What is it? What's the proper way to have this send-off, if you will? It's going to be emotional.
It's for the fan. You have to do what's best for the fans, what the fans are going to enjoy. And I understand it is, it's important to consider safety factors.
Right.
I get that, but I don't think you're going to have an angry mob. Tear up the field.
Right. I can't. I will, like we saw yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if more people try to steal seats.
Maybe. Maybe you're right.
Try to rip the seats out.
Listen to this this is from Tom. This has nothing to do with last night specifically, but man, 35-year-old Giants fan here. My first baseball game was the A's versus the Royals in 1997 at the Coliseum with my grandpa. The good old days when players signed autographs before the game at the rail. First baseline, I missed a Big Mac auto by a couple of kids. Ron Washington walks over and asks for my old torn-up baseballs that my grandpa brought. He says he'll be right back. Wash brings out 4 shiny new MLB balls from the dugout. I don't remember anything else from that day, but that moment, I was hooked as a baseball fan for life. That's life-changing stuff. Cheers. That's from Tom.
That's pretty sweet. Sort of echoing your story, right?
Yeah.
You still got those balls?
No.
Damn.
Gasparuzzo was on that 97 team, baby.
Yeah, damn. And I'm sure there's a lot of stories like that. And maybe on Thursday, I know it's a short show, but I would encourage people to call in. It's our one day to really dive into, the Oakland A's, the history, the fan experience out there. It's going to be emotional for a lot of people, man.
Scott Brocious. Matt Stairs.
Damn, Jay, put you a baseball reference now?
Well, that's my squads, man.
Yeah.
You go back and you start to, and how I always think about it, this is my A's druthers is I always go back to 89, 90 championship. Then you start to move forward. Of course, the years they lost to the Blue Jays, and then 94, 95, they just got terrible. So that's how my mind works. And then you move up to the Tejadas. Eric Chavez, 2004, got the biggest deal. Oakland A's, 05, John Fisher bought the team, still has never given anyone bigger than a $66 million deal. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Inflation, bro. Pay attention.
I don't know what it is with the A's. You could even trace it back to Philadelphia, which we won't, but you could even do that. But you look at that team that won 72, 73, 74, 3 years in a row, Oakland A's, world champions. And then they didn't pay him and they left, And then you look at what happened with Big Mac and those guys and the Bash brothers. And eventually they became a team that didn't want to win. They started tanking and revenue sharing. And then you have the Moneyball A's, and the same thing happened. They got to a point where, we're not going to pay all these guys anymore. So they ended up trading, Zito left as a free agent. They trade Huddy and Mulder. And then just more recently, the team with Chapman and Marcus Simeon and Matt Olson.
Come on, man.
And they broke up that team. It's tough when you're an A's fan because you get attached to these guys and they ain't going to be there long. Giambi, Tejada, the whole thing. It's just the
Geronimo Baroa.
Yes, of course.
Ruben Sierra.
Yes.
How about this, Whitey?
John Jaha.
Oh, yeah. Is that what we're just going to start naming names now, right? Whitey, Chad Clark says you should do an all A's Wayback quiz on Thursday.
Maybe it's hard to find stuff that happened on that date, but I'll see what I can do.
It can't be a competition.
Idea. Like,
it's just a celebration. Because that's his team, bro. That's his team, man. I'm not.
Come on, baby.
Come on now. Can't do that. But, as a way, I'll not sit it out, but me and Jay will just team up, if you will. And just see.
That would be difficult to do because I don't know if that many significant things
happen on
the day. We'll see.
Don't doubt the Oakland A's like that, brother.
Yeah. He's already got the answers to the
right.
Geronimo Baroa, rolling fingers.
It is, and it did just pop in my mind, and maybe I just, fellas, I don't know. Maybe I've been trying not to think about it or something, deflected. Thursday is it.
Yes.
Like tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, man. And I hadn't thought about, maybe going and reaching out to Dave Stewart or guys like that.
We should.
We probably should. And I guess the reason why is I don't know if those guys want to have their thoughts and opinions on air like that, because I'm pretty sure they have to be, they work for NBCS.
But Smoke will tell it.
That's
like
true.
It is.
That's true.
Smoke ain't.
That's true.
He's going to keep it real.
And so I guess I ask you guys, like, tomorrow, I know you guys have duties for NFL and it's a short show and stuff like that. But is there something that can be done tomorrow for, us Oakland A's fans?
Well, part of the show,
we don't have the answer.
The game will still be going on, right?
Yes,
so
it starts at 12:37.
12:30 game, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We got to respect what?
Damn, I'm surprised we're not running it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised we aren't running.
Should be there. I should take off.
We should all just call in.
Yeah.
Chris Watkins is going to be there.
Is he?
I know
so he's not doing this show tomorrow. He's going down.
Not. I know what you mean, Jay. I've kind of been thinking about that out of the last game and just kind of putting it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like something you got to do around the house, a big project or homework or something that you're like, I'm not going to think about that. And then it's like, I have to face it now. Tomorrow is the last game.
Man.
Any way to dip into the game at all or no?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Home of the A's.
You know what I mean?
Figure out maybe like the final call or something.
Final out or something like
last
that.
Inning or something.
That's what I'm saying.
We might have to figure that out.
Yeah. Let's talk to Ramsey here. Our buddy Ramsey on Sactown Sports. How you doing, Ramsey?
Appreciate taking the call. Great timing. I just parked at the Coliseum BART station. I'm going tonight, like we talked about yesterday.
Nice. What hat are you wearing tonight?
I got the A's road hat on.
Okay. What's the vibe down there, Ramsey? What can you tell us right now?
From what I've seen, there's people out in the parking lot. They're getting ready. I mean, I didn't drive the normal route because I was coming from Stockton today, but I've seen multiple groups of people coming from Stockton, Modesto, Livermore with their A's gear on. I'm pretty sure they're on their way to the game, and to me, it's not. I don't feel a sad vibe. I feel like, all right, let's go. We here. It's about to be a party in Oakland tonight. So let's see what it looks like.
And I know you're also, because we've talked about it, you're excited about next year too, right?
Most definitely, because as Jay has said, and as many others have said, while the A's are leaving Oakland, it's very sad. 3 teams gone in 5 years. The A's are going to be in Sacramento, so it's a chance for Sacramento to show up, show out, show that we can host another major sports team in our city above and beyond the Kings. And if something pans out, hopefully the A's end up staying in Northern California and Sacramento, and we can still see them in person rather than what's projected in a few years.
Well said. Have a good time, Ramsey. Thanks for sharing. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right,
yeah, when we come back, Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz on Sactown Sports.
When it comes to fighting for families and protecting kids, no one works harder than our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover. A member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, Hoover has worked across party lines and proposed tougher penalties for fentanyl crimes, stricter sentences for drug trafficking near schools, and RILA's law to make sure anyone who abuses a child is held accountable. A former school board member, Josh has fought to support school police officers, prohibit homeless encampments near schools, and increase funding for school facilities. Josh Hoover knows that families have been paying more for everything from gas and groceries to utilities and insurance. In the Assembly, Josh is working to provide relief to families, reduce the cost of housing, and stop Gavin Newsom from raising gas prices even more next year. Josh Hoover is making a difference for our families, our community, and our future. Our voice, our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover.
Paid for by Hoover for Assembly 2024.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Y'all want to hear about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford? Well, if you're age 50 or over, you can save hundreds when you switch. Are you ready for some exclusive discounts too? Phone's in the air now. We're going to sign you up, baby. Go to visithartfordauto.com today for your free quote.
When you're with the Hartford, the Bucks got your back. Provided by Hartford Fire Insurance Company, not AARP or its affiliates. Individual savings vary. The Hartford pays a royalty fee to AARP, which is used for external purposes. For information and restrictions, go to thehartford.com.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Gotta have more cowbell. Drive Guys wrapping things up here with a look back on things that happened on this date in sports history. This is Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz for September the 25th. Jay's up first today, right? Jay with a dramatic win yesterday. Jay got off to a big lead yesterday, and Kyle Draper came back, scrapping, fighting.
Tried to come back all the way.
You nearly came all the way back, and Jay had just enough to prevail at the end. Of course, the Wayback Machine Quiz questions, everything's based on things that happened on this date or things related to things that happened on this date in the following years: 1965, 1984, 2000. Name the year. 2001 and 2020. Jay, you're up first today. 65, 84, 2000. Name the year. 2001, 2022.
Oh, Y2K.
Y2K. It's the closest too, Jay.
Mr. Draper will go first.
All right. Vince Carter drapes on this date, year 2000. Dunks over Frederick Weiss at the Summer Olympics. The French call it le dunk de la mort.
Yes.
The dunk of death. How tall was Frederick Weiss? At least according to the thing I looked it up in.
I know, right?
I was going to say, did you look 2 or 3 of these versions?
Shoes, right? With shoes? 7'3".
7'3", Jay?
Oh, that's a good choice because that's where I was going. Oh, and it's not 7'3"? Wow.
That's what I thought, Jay.
I thought it was 7'3".
It got to be 7'3". I got that.
I'm gonna go 7'2" because he's 7'1".
Got it. 7'2".
That was a great. That was a great.
That's weak.
Yeah, that was good. Because I was gonna say 7'3".
That's weak.
You're right there. That was a great guess.
I know, but it's like I shouldn't. I mean, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
It's all right. He went first. He got a point. So he held serve, and you're up. 65, 84. Name the year 2001, 2022.
2022.
All right. Aaron Donald on this day, 2022, Drapes.
Yeah.
Becomes the second defensive tackle in NFL history to record 100 sacks.
Dang.
Remember, sacks were not official until 1978 or something like that. Who was the first? Aaron Donald, the second defensive tackle in NFL history to record 100 sacks. Who was the first? Bryant Young, Richard Seymour, John Randall. The first tackle with 100 sacks. The anniversary of Aaron Donald.
I thought it was somebody else.
Yeah, I was going to name somebody else.
There were guys way back when.
This person had 99 and a half thing.
Alan Page and guys like that.
Yeah.
They did. Sacks weren't official.
You know who I thought? Warren Sapp. I thought Sapp got to 100, but I knew it was like 98, 99, somewhere around there.
John Randall.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
well
boy.
done.
Yeah.
Seymour is like 98 or something too.
Big
He didn't hit 100.
Yeah, he didn't get there.
By the way, our friend Ross Tucker says the toughest guy he ever had to block was Richard Seymour.
Richard Seymour.
Hall of Famer, baby.
Yeah. All right, 1-1, Jay.
Okay.
65-84. Name the year 2001. This is quite a match.
Let's go Y2K plus 1.
All right. Jay, it's the closest too.
Okay.
Damn, Whitey, what the hell? Come on.
Go Draper first, please.
All right, Kyle Draper.
Set the standard,
This
baby.
day, 2001. Michael Jordan announces he will come out of retirement to play for the Wizards in 60 games that season. What was his points per game average? Michael Jordan, out of retirement, 2001. 60 games.
Now, let me ask you. Are we doing whole numbers? You know what I mean? Are we rounding up to the whole number? Or
It's an average. You know how averages work.
Yeah. So if I say like 22.2 or something like that, or should I just say 22, 23? I'm just
well, it's an average, like a typical average. You should guess
this guy,
a number.
Jay, I tell you, man.
No, I mean.
So say 20. Do the
I'm gonna
point.
do 23.
23. Okay.
23.3.
23.3. Okay.
It's
Jay?
lower than that because it was like 20 or 20. It was either 19, 20, or 21. So I'm going to go 22.
22.9.
Yeah.
See, that's not.
Dang.
What? That's not
That's
what?
weird. So technically, I got it though, right?
You said 23.3. If you'd said 23,
No, but
That
Jay
was-
said 22 point.
he said 22.
22.
So he's 0.9 off. You said
I was
20.
only 0.4 off though,
He was.
because 22.9 to 23.3.
Actually, you're right.
Exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
We're doing algebra
Y'all
right
doing
here.
it.
I
See?
apologize. No, I'm very
I'm
sorry.
doing the math, big fella.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you are right. I was going to try to
That's
close
on
my
me.
mouth. I was like,
I'm like,
Well
hold on.
done.
I got that.
By the way,
You did.
fellas, I've been doing algebra expressions like,
With your daughter?
positive numbers, negative,
Yeah.
just crazy stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, pardon me, Drapes. I got you. Check my math on this. You're up
Yeah.
2-1.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's your
my choice.
turn.
Okay.
Name the year 84 and 1965.
84.
1984. Who joins Ty Cobb as the only players to homer in their teens and in their 40s on this date, 1984? joining Ty Cobb, the only two players to homer in their teens and in their 40s. Carlton Fisk, Pete Rose, Rusty Staub. This date, 1984. In his 40s.
Give me the choices again.
Yes, sir. Carlton Fisk, Pete Rose, Rusty Staub. Cobb did it. Who else did it? Homering as a teen and in their 40s. What a match we have.
I feel like this is a trick question here.
Drapes
oh,
leading
my
2-1.
Jay.
My apologies to those of you
Who was it again? I'm sorry.
It's all right. Who joins Ty Cobb, the only players to homer in their teens and in their 40s? Carlton Fisk, Pete Rose, Rusty Staub.
Carlton Fisk. Carlton Fisk.
That's not correct.
That's tough.
Jay, a chance to steal and tie it up.
I don't know, Jay. This is
joining Ty Cobb this date, 84. The only players to homer in their teens and in their 40s. You said Carlton Fisk, right?
Yeah.
Pete Rose, Rusty Staub.
I was trying to cancel out when Pete came in, and I don't remember how old he was when he started. I'm gonna go Pete Rose.
It was Rusty Staub.
I thought it was Staub. I'm like, this is kind of a trick one. Like,
because the names don't match.
Yeah, because the names don't match.
Yeah. I thought he threw that in there to
That's Rusty Staub. Yeah.
All right.
Drapes with the lead.
When did Rusty Staub hit his first home run? Did you look that up?
I think he was 19 with the Houston Colt 45s.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta Google that.
Yeah.
I won't pull my phone out now, but I'll wait till after a minute.
KD 2, Jay 1. Jay, you're up. 1965. Name the year.
Name the year.
Name the year.
Now, in this one, I can choose who goes first after hearing the question, right?
That is correct, sir.
And it's kind of a closest to thing, right?
That's exactly right as well. Name the year. Riddell introduces the first plastic hard shell football helmet. This date, what year? And Jay has the option here. He can guess or he can let Drapes go first.
I'm going to let Drapes go first.
All right, Drapes. What do you think?
19.
Yeah. Drapes with the lead.
57.
1957.
1958.
I'm
going to say in the 70s or 80s.
39.
What? Oh, we are the champions, baby.
1939. And Drapes.
Riddell's been around that long?
They didn't use them in the NFL till later than that, but yeah, that's when they were introduced. They were based on something that soldiers used to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Riddell threw me off. I'm like, they ain't been around for no 100 years.
Yeah.
What?
Kyle Draper needs one. He needs a Riddell set of headphones.
Yeah,
right?
I thought I almost broke these things.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, hold on. I spent too much money on these bad
That was
boys.
very impressive, especially because you had to correct me on the math. It's like,
I know.
no,
I was
actually
like,
got
hold
that
on
right.
here. Hold on. That almost slid by me. Woo.
Yeah. Congrats
What's the
on
last
the big
one?
win.
What's the last one?
Oh, you want the last
Yeah,
one?
last question.
It's the closest to. Satchel Paige of the Kansas City A's throws 3 scoreless innings at what ripe old age, Jay?
Well, we don't know. This can't be true because there's been some things where
What he
it's
was
like
listed at.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I'm going to say 52.
I was going to say 54 or so.
59.
Yeah, yes.
59. All right. Thanks for being with us. We're back tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting day. We've got a short day tomorrow with Thursday Night Football and then the A's last game in Oakland before they come to Sacramento.
Yes. Make sure you tune in. 2:00.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got A's baseball for you now. Coming up, it's the A's and the Rangers next, right here on your home of the Kings and 49ers and A's, Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive.